intoxicated. We're automated and overpopulated. We're all fish in a stream, swimming towards a vicious dream. Don't you know we're the walking dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking fear and hatred, dull and jaded. It's all been debated and manipulated. Nothing's ever as it seems. We're bound to believe everything they scream. Don't you know we're the walking dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead. Oh, 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 oh. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead. Oh, 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 oh. Highly sedated, intoxicated. We're automated and overpopulated. Don't you know we're the walking dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking dead. We're the walking I've been running this world without you. With no one at all, one way to fall. Living this nightmare all through. What's new? I'm making without you. Without you. With no one at all, one way to fall. Living this nightmare all through. What's new? I'm making without you. All I ever wanted was you, but you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted. Somebody help me, 'cause I'm feeling trapped and I don't know what to do. There's no one to save me from this hurt I feel deep within my bones. Did you ever think of me and see the things I did? Sold my soul and everything, I was to the lowest bid. Crawled into your Porsche dome, yet every single time you got into my mind, you got into my mind. But all I ever wanted was you. But you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted. So how can I fix this? 'Cause I need to stop the aching in my head. My heart is breaking. Yeah, I'm tired of being stuck in the past. Did you ever think of me and see the things I did? Sold my soul and everything, I was to the lowest bid. Crawled into your Porsche dome, yet every single time you got into my mind, you got into my mind. But all I ever wanted was you. But you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted. The reason why my soul is tainted. You're the reason why my soul is tainted. You're the reason why my soul is tainted. You're the reason why my soul is tainted.
Racing's ACC Sprint Series Season 10. It is your Wednesday evening. We start off tonight with Splint Sunset. That was weird. Neil Alexander, welcome to you, sir.
Splunt. That's a new word. I'll take that.
And potentially later on, welcome to you, sir. And hello, David Bender McNulty as well.
Yes, good evening, JC and everyone watching along at home. I hope you're all having a great day.
Speaking of everyone at home, hello, Mrs. Tully. Hello, Hamster. Hey, Cody's in here as well. Hello, mate. Paul Berger, of course. Craig Dale, a lot of regulars in here tonight. It's a big night. COTA. One of the most enjoyable tracks in ACC. I actually don't know anyone in the Discord. Literally no one dislikes this track. Bender, your thoughts?
I'm here too.
Well, that's a very loaded question there, JC. I mean, if people didn't dislike it, it would have won the most recent endurance poll. But I think it's a great track. I think it's very unique. It'd be interesting to see how it goes. Particularly, I think turn 1 for me is a favourite. You can take so many different lines through there, both attacking and defending. So hopefully we'll see some great overtakes tonight.
That uphill left-hand turn 1, you're spot on. That is going to be mega spicy. I believe we've been joined by Neil. Hello to you, sir.
G'day, mate. How are we? Splight? What did you say? Spleet? Splight? I like it.
No, it was a rough start. How are you this fine Wednesday evening, mate?
Fantastic. Race Labs just doesn't like this split, so as you can see, no information.
Once again,
but look in the foreground. What can you see, lads?
I can see... Oh, yes.
If you know, you know.
This
I
is
didn't
the
see that.
epitome of bullying. Meg, buy the fucking bulldozer.
Go and buy it. Just do it. I didn't notice that in the foreground there. I was looking for rain, and I didn't see that, and that sticks out like a sore thumb now. That is spot on. What a livery.
Thank you, Mr.
Incredible.
Quick, for putting that together.
What a work of art.
We may explain what this is all about, but either way, that is what you call peer pressure.
Oh, yeah, COTA.
You did say, sorry, Jason, you did say before that you haven't found anyone that hates this circuit?
Literally no one.
There is one. His name is Ethan Cale. He's racing the Porsche Cup next up, and he has a lot of displeasure for this track, apparently. But he's only just started practicing today, so it's his own fault, isn't it?
Well, I mean, people do practice, so yeah, should have done more practice, I guess.
Like
I heard.
Coming from Bender, yeah, nah.
Well, look, you know when I'm calling people out on doing more practice, it's a pretty low bar.
Exactly. How are you, JC? What's been
I'm
happening?
very well. I got a pretty sore leg, sore foot, all that. But other than that, very happy to be here again tonight. Looking forward to Ascari. Looking forward to Kai Rudin after the win last week. Mercedes just getting a buff. That man will be raring to go tonight. So I'll be looking out for him.
Yep, Semming is tomorrow, though.
Is he?
Yeah, tonight's sunset, big fella. You're 24 hours ahead of us.
Mate, I'm all
Well, who
over
wins
it. You know
this
what?
split? Who wins this
I
split?
had sunset.
What's the lotto
I had
numbers
sunset.
tomorrow, mate?
I had sunset open, ready to go, and then I looked at the names on the list, and I was like, that doesn't look familiar for a Wednesday. So I went over to balls that. Goodness me. Well, I'm very much looking to see how Kai Rudin goes tomorrow when he's buffed up Mercedes. Who we got tonight? Oh, Senekis and McKinns. We resume battle. Okay, yeah, cool. It was an excellent race last week at Bathurst.
Clipano is also one to watch here. He was fastest in the last practice session in the Lamborghini. As most of you know, there's been a BOP update, and that's as far as I'm going to go with it because spend way too much time talking about it.
What's changed? Quick
Things
rundown
have
of what's
changed.
changed.
What do you drive, Bender?
The Beamer.
Then you
Gearing's
were
better.
significantly slower, and then they fixed it immediately, and now you're basically the same, except your gears are a little bit different.
So what you're saying is I'm not going to notice anything? Cool.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
The
Especially
gearing's
if you haven't
changed. You'll
practiced.
notice in the BMW the gearing's changed. It's for the better, and it actually, for Paul Ricard in Sector 3, it feels a lot better where the placements are for those revs. But there's always going to be little tiny changes. You only really notice it if you're the top echelon of esports, in my opinion. You are going to notice those little fine differences, but the everyday Joe, you just plod along and have fun.
I need a placebo to let me know why I'm slow, and the fact that the McLaren didn't get any buffs, that's why I'm slow. Because the McLaren's got a poor BOP.
Is that you, everyone that has an excuse?
I need those placebos in my life. McLaren goes okay here, though. Actually, feels all right. Especially for
Yeah, I watched a few races on, could have been Jardier's or somebody else's broadcast, and there was about, I don't know, 8 cars in the top 10, all different manufacturers. The standard bunch, standard cars that people don't normally pick anyway, like the Nissan. You can't really measure it because no one's in it anyway.
I just hit a nerve with the Nissan fans listening. I wouldn't say that.
I love the
to
Nissan.
others.
Aston, apparently a little bit better, which is good because it's been a bit down in recent times. But overall, I'm hearing that it's a fairly pretty even balanced BOP. There's always going to be a car that's better than others. You can't make it perfect, but I'm just looking forward to the upcoming races we've got.
It's easy to say that the Porsche is the best car, and it probably is in the right hands, but the Porsche is so hard to drive, and I think that is in itself a bit of balance.
Yeah.
You can't just jump in the Porsche and drive the bloody thing quickly.
Oh, exactly right. Porsche's a great car all around. If you're in all of world motorsport, it's not everyone's mug of Milo, but either is the Nissan, either is the Honda, and a lot of people whinge about the BMW.
Well, we're going to have to hold that discussion there because we've got to do a quick shout out to our man, Amster. Thank you very much for the donation.
Read it out. Read it out.
In other news, a man covered in brown wrapping paper was arrested for rustling.
What a-
They're good. They're good.
Oh, that's 5 out of 10 this weekend.
Oh, he's only got a 5.
That's
Ripped.
a 5.
Where's Firelord? Get him in the chat. We need him back from. He was absolutely killing it on Sunday.
Mate, 3 weeks in a row, he has been dead set on fire. So much so that I thought Peach was sitting next to him. And apparently that wasn't the case. He's actually pretty handy himself. But yeah, he's spot on. He was red hot on Sunday. Hamster, that's below par for you, mate.
People in chat calling you stingy for that rating, mate.
It's been called worse.
Amen.
Michael Velasquez this week has changed his car, forwarded his points. He's off to the Ferrari. I just want to show you his steering input for gamepad is probably the smoothest that I've ever seen. That is a gamepad.
Yeah.
Does that look...
Oh,
Wow.
oh,
Having a dip though, he hasn't got a valid lap in yet, but he's still got, what, 7 minutes to go?
Does anything change from pad to wheel other than steering angle? Like, you can't do that. The way that he crisscrossed that and saved it as he was, transferring between the apexes, that whole left to right, there's no way you can do that on a wheel. You would snap your wrists off.
No, yeah, but I don't think you'd get that in a wheel as well because you can adjust much
You
more
can
fine
feel
control.
it. You can feel it before it gets to that point. And there's a bit more forgiving on a pad with those type of inputs. Overall, I think they've done pretty well with the pad on this title.
Do they have different engines? Do they have different physics? Or is it literally the same? It's all the same. The only difference is the input.
No, it'll definitely be... Well, there have to be different feedback from the pad to the game. Because if you did those things to the wheel, it's going to do a lot different things. So I'm guessing there's a little bit of a physics engine differential when you come and play on the pad or you play on the keyboard if you're an absolute insanity monster.
At least it's not different depending on how many frames per second your game's running at. Unlike another certain title we run.
Don't bring up F1, please. I've had enough of that shit in the last 2 weekends.
Speaking of F1,
Hello, Jan.
Pingu.
Hello, who?
Pingu.
Oh, g'day, Pingu.
And Jan, of course.
Mrs. Tully.
Mrs. Tully.
Sorry, that's a you thing.
And no.
Velasquez, P3. He's
I
got
was going to say we
timing.
can share, but that's wording.
Yeah, look. Clapano on a hot lap. He's in sector 3. Yet to get a time in. I do expect the time that he does set to be right up the top end. Paul Leans, if you are out there, please submit a livery so your class updates correctly, mate. If you have any troubles submitting one, please contact your nearest help desk. Several drivers yet to set a time, though.
There was a bit of chat. a bit of chat in the stream chat before the stream started. The track limits would be an issue, but I don't think there'll be that much of an issue compared to the Paul Ricard qualification that's recently just finished. I think people would have found they'd be pretty similar between the two in terms of percentage of valid laps that were or will be completed.
I think this would be worse in that aspect during the race. I don't think there's much difference at all.
Yeah, I mean, they're both about 33%, so 1 in 3 valid laps during qualifying, so...
Any chance to smack Paul Ricard, you will take it.
Yeah, you want to give me another layup?
You've already told us what you thought about the other layout.
I think this would be pretty bad for qualifying. It's very easy to invalidate because you can't use all the curves. For the race, though, and for drive-through track limits, nowhere near as bad as people make it out to be. We're not going to see a plethora of drive-throughs tonight, I wouldn't think.
No, because what it does is just says no time gained. So it just instantly scraps that out. You're not getting a warning straight away. So when you invalidate a lap, it doesn't mean that you've gained an advantage. You've just gone off track. So the key to getting a lap in is to stay on track, believe it or not. It's obviously frustrating, but we haven't hit over 50% for our qualification yet for any circuit. Which you'd expect because you're pushing as hard as you physically can and there's no punishment for not validating.
Yeah, but then you also got to take into account you get all those laps where people just pull off the track and return to pits and that sort of thing, so that would contribute as well.
Well, it was actually a little bug we had where if you went onto the server and all you set was invalid laps and then you left, it wasn't recording those on your numbers. So there was quite a few extra more laps that were set at one stage that were invalid, but they weren't registering because you'd never set a valid lap. But they're all being recorded, but that bug was fixed during the time. And it didn't change anything with qualification because they weren't a valid lap. Has Meg seen the stream yet?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure we'll put a timestamp in and post it in the relevant locations.
Just show it.
I.e. her inbox.
There we go. Done. Meg, or the bulldozer.
She usually jumps in chat if she's here, so I don't think she's here yet. But yeah, spot on. Someone will clip that for her. By the bloody bulldozer.
I think something that we'll find tonight is there's going to be a few gaps, a bit larger gaps than we're used to with the familiarity of this circuit between drivers. As you can see, top 10, 1.8 seconds. Normally that's around the 1 second mark, and you get down to P16 and it's nearly 3 seconds off the pace. The new circuit, putting on as many laps as they set. They're probably setting bankers because they're struggling with track limits, but lots of places here you can go wheel to wheel, which is what I love.
Yeah, agreed. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit of lap 1 or lap 2 carnage. For that reason, it's a track that no one's practiced. And there might be those who don't quite get their qualifying lap in the way they want to, and they're in the mid-pack. And they outbreak themselves a little bit. It's a very bumpy track too, so it's very easy to...
I just love this part, how it's uphill. It's quite a steep incline, really. They've got two pretty big hairpins here. I think this is the one we'll see any incident at, and then obviously the one here before the straight, which you won't see as many. But it's pretty much identical setup in turn 1. Letting down the biggest straight of the circuit. I'd love to see how that compares lengthwise to the other tracks. It's pretty long.
Big straight.
The optimal straight here is to go through this fence and just go through here. That's another chicane. They love those little... that angle. Very similar. It's not really round, it's... pointy. This, I don't know if can you take this flat? Pretty sure you could, couldn't you?
Negative,
In the
not in the
F1 cars,
GT3
you
car.
can.
No,
Probably not in a GT3, yeah.
you don't need the whole track if you're Max Verstappen anyway. You just go off track. I don't know what GP that was, but didn't he lose a position or something because
Yeah,
of it?
he got kicked off the podium. I want to say 2018 or 2017.
Yeah.
Then he had the awkward moment where Kimi Raikkonen just appears in the cool
Taps-
down room.
Tap on the shoulder. Look out, buddy. I did it again. I don't know how I buttoned that button. Shout out to Mr. Sander in our Discord who sent some off-cut and some brackets to me this week or last week for my microphone, so now I can bolt it to my rig. So I don't have to keep leaning forward to try and get to it. Qualifying is over. Several drivers are already in the pits and have finished their runs. Mr. Hignett in his beloved Bentley. Currently P8. Can he improve? He needs to find 4/10. I don't think he will improve position-wise. He does improve time-wise, though. Lee Perkins is currently up 3/10. That will gain him maybe a couple of spots. He's right at the back here. Last one to finish this lap, I reckon. He's got 2 minutes to do, so pretty sure he'll nail that.
R95 disqualified. Major track cut. Good lord. Is that disqualified from qualifying, Fire Lord, or is that disqualified from the race as a whole?
I hope it's on the race.
They're big qualifying, surely.
It's a super massive whack regardless for a major track cut.
That'd be old mate. That'd be Tatey. What's he going and done him?
Oh, is it really?
Where was the cut though? That's the thing.
Well, he took Neil's advice and jumped the fence after the straight.
Yeah.
And based off his two-wheel antics at Bathurst, he's probably capable of jumping the fence.
I'm fairly sure the game's dished that out to him. I just watched it on my other monitor, and he just the third chicane, third hairpin. He just cut across there, and yeah, don't do that. And that's all done for qualifying.
Oh, of course she's not in chat. She's our race director, so she'll have to watch that back, Megan.
Well then.
So she'll be fully aware.
Yeah.
Yes.
She will have
Although,
seen it.
because she's in the server, maybe she won't be aware because she won't get the custom liveries in the server. That'll be broadcast only.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Exactly what Matt Powell said. Similar to what the game does in the last sector at Mazzano. If you cut across that grass or get shafted across that grass, you will get DQ'd. Not a penalty, just straight DQ. Do not pass go, do not collect 200 Zimbabwean dollars. Quite sunny out there. We have an hour race for our debut at COTA. No wind.
What do we got? Senekis on pole. It's pretty standard.
Yep.
He's got 3 poles out of 5. 4 now. 4 out of 5 poles. Goodness me, he's destroying qualifying in this series. Clapano P2 and McKinn's P3. So that's your 1, 2, 3 on track, and it's 1, 3, 2 in the standings at the moment. Godfrey's P4 in the standings, and he's 7th tonight, so he's got a little bit of work in front of him. Velasquez, P4, and those very smooth pad inputs. He'll be firmly placed there. He'll be looking at that. Reece Penfold again in P6 in qualifying, having another good show tonight. After his...
Penfold Pro-Am or Pro, eh?
I reckon.
We'll get him on Pro.
Hignett.
Just another one. Shazrin, top 10.
Lawrence and, yeah, Shazrin. That's a very good qualifying from Shazrin as well. Nice one.
J Tate, DSQ. So he'll be starting from the back of... No, actually. That will
Yeah, what
put
do we
him-
do there?
That's a good point.
Has he set a time? If
He
so,
set a
did
time,
the...
yeah, so he's dropped out. So if we un-DQ him from the game, which we will, that will put him to the lap that he's previously set. if it was a game issued DQ, I don't think he's going to get starting from the back of the grid. Wherever he's set, lap he's set, that's where he'll start from. But Jakey Graham and Mr. Leans did not set a time, so they'll be starting from the back, as will that delicious safety car.
Yes. Another zoom in.
Oh, wow, that's a quick.
That was
Quicker
that was
mouse.
quick. Yeah.
It's better even like this. Love it.
For me, I just love the fact that there's the different shades of the Lego bricks as well.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool.
So, the story goes, Megan is unsure whether or not to buy the new Lego or current Lego bulldozer. It's quite a few quid. I mentioned it in one of our Discords, and ever since we've been peer pressuring her to buy it,
Rating her.
baiting her, everything. If that diffuser looks awesome with like that. Stands out. But yes.
Is that normal for the McLaren, the diffuser being like that?
I don't know.
It looks abnormal, doesn't it?
It does,
It
but I
does-
think
it
it's
does
because
look
it's
Because it's yellow?
it
Yeah,
looks
could be.
massive.
Yeah, I thought it was like an additional... It looks like Lego. It looks like someone's jammed a Lego diffuser onto it.
See, see what I mean? Like, it doesn't stand out at the bottom because it's carbon.
And
As
the
much.
shadows,
The shadows,
mix it in,
but-
I guess. Yeah. But once it's yellow, it stands out. That's amazing. I've never noticed how big that diffuser is.
McMammoth. Very interested to see how this will start out today.
I'm betting on a safety car. I know there's no poll up at the moment, but I am betting on a safety car tonight for Sunset. Yeah, why not? Both splits, the Porsches and the BMWs as well. There'll be a safety car in there. There'll be a safety car here, I reckon.
If anyone out there would like to participate in the Porsche Cup / BMW M2 race tonight, it's at 9:30 AEST. If you're verified in our OOR Discord, you can jump in, have a race. You don't need anything else. Just jump in and have some fun. Another note worth this track is this is the circuit we actually banned someone straight from OOR for a turn 1
Yes.
incident. This is the circuit.
Well, there's been a couple of drivers banned from OR here in the F1 series. There's another one. I can't remember his name. He was his first
No
race.
names. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking
And-
about.
He went out on Inters.
That's the same
no,
dude.
it's a different one. Same dude. Okay. Same
Yeah,
dude.
that was how they did that afterwards.
Yeah.
So just straight line turn 1, flipped over a car, went into the pits, put inters on, and it was a dry race.
And then started
Just
doing W's.
Don't be that. Oh, McKinns has had a moment here. Has he turned his car off? Thomas McKinns.
Oh, no.
This is disastrous here for the young man.
He can't retake his place either. The race director will be instructing him just to filter in whenever he can safely. Oh, that's disappointing for McKinns. P2 in the championship. P4 on the grid. He is down the back of the field now.
Too late now to sort that out. All right, JC, take lap 1 for us. Let's
Can't wait.
kick off COTA.
This is Split Sunset, formerly known as Split Ascari.
Very briefly.
Very, very briefly.
Well, that shot there is awesome up that hill.
Reasonably straight lines, although that inside line should be on their grid box, but they probably don't want to run over the marbles there, so I guess that's why there's a pretty big gap there between Senecas and Capano. But it is green flag racing, and we are away. Senecas with his nice little, oh god, death
Oh, no.
immediately. Straight across the pit lane and into the wall. Up into turn 1, it is Senecas who leads Capano and Velasquez. That's fine, but there is your safety car, for sure. There's only one car facing backwards, so they might carry on. Everyone rejoins safely. I reckon we're going to get away with it.
Oh, Shazrin.
Unlucky Shazrin from P10. That's disappointing. It moved up to P9. The safety car is moving, but might be just taking its position at the start of the pit lane. It is the championship leader, Jean-Pierre Senecas, who goes through the S's smoothly for the first time, and everyone has to filter in behind him. Lopano is the first of those. Maddox had a good start up to P3 now, and Velasquez on his pad in P4. Godfrey a good start as well. Pass, Penfold, Hignett, Petherbridge with Malloy rounding out the top 10. That's pass there. A little bit slow through that left-hander, which heads down to the hairpin before the straight. Sorry, this is the straight. Apologies. We're through the hairpin. He was a little bit slow through there, was Pass. And he's got Penfold for company. Pass defends the inside pretty hard, which allows Penfold to take the ideal line. Now, what does he do with that ideal line? Oh, he misses the apex a little bit, unfortunately, so that move won't be complete. Further on back, his son Rob, or his father Rob, potentially. Which one's that? You got me backwards? Rob would be the father, surely.
Yeah, that sounds very
Reese would be the son.
fatherish.
Rob looking nicely in the Aston Martin, battling away with Sugden. Sugden, who's switched cars, so it'll be a good watch tonight. See how Sugden goes in the Aston Martin after switching to the McLaren midweek. Dante Fighty running along nicely as well. Tatey, after being disqualified from qualifying, finds himself in P15. He'll be pretty happy with that. Still interested to know where he got that disqualification. I don't know if I missed that in chat, but that's a weird one.
Oh, I mentioned it. I'll show you it next lap.
All right, let's do that. Lap 2 replay coming up, brought to you by AWS and F1 Broadcasting.
Love to see the inside start line. Whoever it was has been spearing across the inside pit wall. That would have a fair bit of damage, I imagine.
Might be wrong, but I thought it was an Aston, and the Aston has a lot of trouble spinning up the wheels at any stage. So I don't know if they got a little bit of help or...
It looked like there was contact, yeah.
Lee Perkins cruising along nicely in his new McLaren livery. It's a nice one. Stands out, that yellow one. He's got Robertson coming along behind him. Robertson just patiently finding his way through the SS here as he chases down Perkins and Tate ahead of him.
One thing that's stood out to me so far, and it's only lap 2, is just how spread out the field is. I mean, on some tracks you get gaps that are like 3/10, 4/10. There's already 7/10, 9/10 second, 1.3 seconds between some of these cars. So.
I was actually thinking how close it is.
Oh well, yeah, it looks pretty close because they're all on the one long straight, but they're not really making that many moves on each other. They're just sort of following.
Yeah, Mel mentioned that pre-race though. It's a track that hasn't been practiced, not only this week but overall. So people aren't sure exactly where to make moves and where to race and how to be close. So understandable that those gaps are starting to form, but with the track not being practiced, you would expect mistakes will be made as well, which will invite overtakes and some moves. That's sideways facing Mercedes. I think that's Scani facing backwards back there.
Lanes.
Is it? Okay. So McKinn's coming from the back of the field, has a lot of work to do, as does Shazran, who started in P10. So those two will hopefully tuck in behind each other. Leans has fallen back through the field, so now Kranich has to defend from Scani and Shazran. Kranich, one of our drivers who doubles up. He'll be in the Porsche Bmw Series coming up next. That's Scani having a look down the inside of turn 1, makes the apex and came from a long way back, but got it done cleanly. Kranich, two-man overtake. Kranich definitely opened the door for sure.
Three-man operation, that one.
I think Scani's
McKinn's just said, thank you very much, I'll walk through the door.
Tatey's looking very racy at the moment. Right behind Jared Ellis.
I imagine him and Ellis, this would be a track where you'd expect them to do well at. Certainly would have driven a fair amount in single-seater open-wheel cars, F1 cars.
It's fair call. $257 there for the Porsche.
Jared Ellis finds himself in the top 10 tonight. That's good so far. Pit window only just opening. This is a long way to go, but I want a good result for our man, Jared. Got a couple of rough ones in the F1 series, and I don't think it's been the strongest ACC series either, so hopefully he can hang on to this top 10 and drive a safe race and hold himself up there.
Just needs to find himself some more consistent driving out there. Not worried about so much about that one lap pace. Just get that consistency down, lap after lap. Be smooth on the wheel, and I think the times and the results will come. There's a bit of a Barney going up ahead, but
a bit of a Barney about form here too. Jared defending the inside there from Tatey, who, as you said, Mel, is looking very racy. Showing his nose in Jared's mirrors and letting him know he's there, but you're right, there's a 4-car battle up at turn 1 up there.
I know as soon as I look away from this battle, it'll kick off.
All through the S's, you can see Tatey carrying a lot more speed. He's got to be careful. He's got to get it done cleanly.
They're just catching up to the back of this 4-man battle as well. Who's that ahead? Zach Malloy, Alex Pass, Benjamin Hignett, and Reese Penfold leading this train. Won't lose this car in a hurry. She definitely stands out.
He's just dropping back from the 5 drivers ahead as well, which is making a nice little bit of a train. We love to see it.
Yeah, I was just going to say Tate looks to have dropped off the back too, and Swampy's come in and given us the smelly update that Tate was taken out. Not sure he's been taken out necessarily, only looks like he's lost a second or two, but he has just dropped off the back of this pack, which is led by Penfold. There's now 5 cars strong as Ellis makes his way up to the back in what is a very nice livery, spotted by UT Mac. Ooh, a little bit loose around that right-hander there from Pass, but the Nissan, well and truly adept at getting out of corners, compensates on the exit. You can see the different lines being taken by all the drivers at lots of these corners, like turn 1 especially. There's wide lines and late apexes and all sorts of things happening, but really stood out there with those 5 cars all taking different approaches to the one corner, whether by design or not. Tatey getting a little bit waggly on the exit of that one.
Sure, some tyre temp issues there for Tatey.
The back of that Porsche looks a little beat up, so potentially was given a little bit of a bump up the rear. As spotted by Swampy Butts up into turn 1 again. I think, as you can see, every single car there just doing a different approach and a different exit. And it was Malloy who took all of the sausage curbs on the way out of turn 1, which cost him a bit of pace down into the S's and invited Ellis to make the move, which he did so very nicely. So up in a P9 for Ellis and sliding down to P10 for Malloy after that error at turn 1.
Yeah, he did well to set that move up there, Ellis. Looked like he was going to go up the inside, forced Zach to go a little bit deeper in turn 1 and then just cut back underneath. And obviously Zach went a bit wide on the exit, chunked the sausage curb, and that was that.
See what type of speed the Bentley gets up to here. We saw the Porsche do 257 in the tow. Bentley 250, 258. Meanwhile, up ahead, Seneka's 2.6 seconds clear of Capano. Maddox in P3, 5 seconds back. There's Bentley and Velasquez. Yeah, there's different lines to that hairpin there. So better carrying speed through this section though. There's a big chance that Hignett might be able to pull up alongside here of Penfold. He'll have the outside line though, coming into the second last corner. He's going to go around the outside. Last corner, he's going to move. What a move.
Nice.
Well done, Benjamin Hignett. Moves up to P6. Penfold P7 now. With Pass and Ellis chasing them heavily.
Look at the difference. Just taking one of those sausage curves, mate. You can just see Ellis dropping way off the back of Pass there. Because he ran just a little bit too wide on the exit.
This time Penfold looks for the switchback. And he covers it off nicely. And that beautiful sexiness in behind of Alex Pass. Can Pass get past? That is the question. One-time tribe, Chad Sugden. He is in the Aston for the first time this series, or this season, making a car switch and forfeiting his points. Followed by another Aston. Bmw, Perkins and Nagel chasing. Let's go with Bmw on the Honda. That's opportunistic. I think 88. It's got to really defend a bit better there. You don't leave that door open when you get the turn in. Bub now. Oh, I can't even see how fast it's going because this car doesn't even have a speedo. 257. So about 257, 258 we're looking at for all these cars.
Oh, there it is. Penfold deep. Up now's through.
Sean was just going to pick his moment there. Mum will be screaming at him. You've let the fly screen open. The flies are coming inside.
You born in a tent?
Just so, taking those apexes very wide, Penfold. He's got to hit those inside apexes. He's got to close those doors. Just going a little bit too deep under brakes, perhaps.
Let us know in chat if your mum or dad yelled at you for letting the flies in when you were a kid.
Were you
the
born in a
punishment?
tent? Ends up even being smacked by a wooden spoon.
Oh, yeah, that was the go-to.
PTSD up here now. McKins has done nicely to work his way to P19 here after his early escapade on the formation lap sent him to the back of the field. Shazrin's done nicely too to follow him behind. He's 5 seconds behind, but he's made up the same amount of positions.
Oh, wow, didn't even know to do that. Thank you very much, John, for the 5 gifted Octane Online Racing memberships. Appreciate that very much. That's a relatively new thing for YouTube, and a big difference between Twitch and YouTube. It was gifting subs. So they're our first gifted subs, and we're up and about now in the commentary box.
What does that do? Does that just mean you can give them to people, or is it just random?
Same as Twitch. So yeah, they can now use their emotes and just be a member of the YouTube channel.
Yeah, randomised gift though. So John has randomly gifted 5 different people the gift. Yeah, so it looks like Gibbo got one, Sam Bugden, Joseph Robertson, Christonics, and the 5th has yet to show themselves, so they're not in chat at the moment, I would suggest. That's what I'm reading out of that.
And so just...
But no, that's awesome.
Whilst we've got your attention, it's just great to also welcome VRS to the OOR family, who have jumped on board for the Paul Ricard 8 Hour on the 3rd of September. They will be donating a set of pedals and potentially a couple of other things for a raffle, all in which we're going to be raising money for Michael Babb and his battle for cancer. So much love to VRS for jumping on board, and it's great to have you here. And we're very excited for the Paul Ricard 8 Hour.
Abby has been shouting in capitals in every single Discord since he learnt that VRS were coming on board. He is mega excited, is the Gorilla Snapper.
You want to tell us what VRS is for those in chat that perhaps might not be aware of who they are?
They are, okay. You don't know who VRS are? Virtual Racing School. Virtual Racing School.
Now, chat might not know.
What they predominantly have started with, they do lots of training, education on drivers, especially with iRacing. You've no doubt if you're on iRacing, that is...
oh, no.
Speaking of needing a VRS school education there, that's probably a great moment. No, it wasn't a great moment, I lie. Virtual Racing School, yep, so you obviously do driver training through iRacing and other platforms now. They're really pushing into ACC. They also have sim racing pedals, which are top of the range, awesome, amazing pedals, very similar to Huskfield's and all those top of the range like some Magic ones. You might have seen on our Discord that there's a Church of VRS, which is predominantly those who love VRS pedals, which is a lot of you, which is fantastic. They do lots of merchandise and sim racing gear. There's lots of things they're working on as well. They've got great tools and telemetry stuff. So yeah, I'd say go to their website, but after our announcement, their website actually crashed. I don't know if it was connected. I very much doubt it was because it was connected. But their website will be put back up soon because obviously they're undergoing some maintenance. But yes, I think that's explained that off the top of my head.
No, nicely done. While you elaborated on the Church of VRS, it has all kicked off.
It has, hasn't it?
Multiple drivers being handed penalties for being out of position at the race start. So you can see now Quipano, Velasquez, Maddox, Penfold and Robertson all getting 10-second penalties for being out of position. So that is that's really going to shake up that top 10 come the pit stops.
Well, we did see, what was it, the right-hand side of the grid from our perspective was just miles behind, so it's not that surprising rather.
Yeah, you got to know where the start-finish line is because you're allowed to push up this, but the gap shouldn't be there prior to the last corner. You should already be right behind the car ahead. And another tip is if you are on that final corner and then you go from 80 to 90 to give yourself a bit of a break and then go back to 80, you're going to get stung because once you're told to sit in 80 when the grid's formed, there's no reason to do that. That just creates gaps and confusion, and we don't want to use the bloody widget in this game because it just takes away all the flexibility we have as organisers for setting grids, using safety cars and all that stuff. And you start at 70, which doesn't help those like the Aston. So yeah, it works 60% of the time all the time, but just pay attention.
Might need the virtual racing school to come in and teach us how to start up and form up properly because it's a lesson that just isn't quite being learned. Although sometimes it seems like it's okay, and then other weeks we just don't share.
It's fine. It only needs one car to kick it off.
Sex, Malt, Garrett Ellis has a CD drive-through penalty.
Track limits?
No. I believe so.
That's early too. That's only 20 minutes in.
Yeah, we haven't seen him involved in any incidents, so assume track limits.
With the McKinsey dropping back, all you have to worry about is the car ahead of you. That's it. That's all you need to stress about. So the car ahead of you is going to peel away to one side of the grid, and then you're going to follow the car ahead of you. That's all you need to concern yourself with, and if you just focus on those two little things, it's a piece of piss. I'd be upset if I was McKinn's, but he's obviously turned his car off in the formation lap, and the reason why he wasn't allowed to gain his spot back is we're in sector 3 and it's too close to the start of the bunching up to be able to put him through the field because it causes more confusion. So poor T-Max had to start from the back where he actually got this car restarted. And finding his way to 15th, but last week, as we saw at Bathurst, he was a bit lower down, had a great strategy and finished P2 off the top of my head. Or P3, I can't remember. P2.
That was P2. P2, he did the bender strat, pitted towards the end.
Yeah.
Running P1 for a little while. Bit of rain would really spice this race up, I reckon, but obviously
cross
not
it off the bingo card, Bender mentioning rain.
21 minutes in.
Bit late for you there, Bender.
Oh, it depends if you're counting me like verbally mentioning it or typing it in chat, because I got it early on chat. Where's the rain for the race, for qualifying rather. So yeah, we need to quantify or qualify how we're checking off these bingo cards.
The Peach is dead set laughing up here.
Oh,
he is technically 14 seconds clear of Capano. And then there's what, 10 8. There's about 18 seconds between himself and Godfrey, who doesn't have a penalty. So he is absolutely laughing up the front here with about 39 minutes to go.
Based on their pace, those three, Capano, Velasquez, Maddox, 7.3 seconds between P4, P5. So if that gets out to 10-ish, it's not going to really change anything, except how much JP's going to take the win by. And those penalties get served in the pits, so we won't have to find out to the end of the race.
You're calling it very early there, Mike. I mean,
Page win.
yeah, I mean,
Alright,
it's
let's have a
almost like
bet.
playing
No,
Turf.
nah, shh. Let's have a bet then.
There's still blue
Oh, look.
flags to contend with.
Let's have a bet.
I'm not-
No, I'll have a bet with both of you. Let's go.
No,
Let's do
I'm
fight.
not saying he's
Nah, you
not
are.
going. I'm just saying there's still 40 minutes.
Yep.
There's 2/3 of the race left, mate. Anything, his game could crash. I don't
Bloody
wish
hell,
that
they
upon
could.
him.
His internet could blow up. The world
Yeah,
could end.
exactly.
You got to bet
Yeah.
on it, Bender. That's
But
what
you
I
gotta
think
bet on
we're
it.
trying to get here.
I'm not going to bet on it. I'm
No,
just
you
saying
can't
you're
just
calling
shit
it
talk
early.
me and not bet. Come on, put your money where your mouth is.
It's a carton of milk, and yeah, blue flags and peach. Oh, look, I'll have some milk. Sure, I reckon there's a blue flag drama.
No, okay, I'm saying he's winning from here. I don't. It doesn't
I'm
give a
saying he
shit.
finishes P2 because of blue flags.
Woo!
Carton of milk.
A carton? Are we talking 600 mils? Or are we talking an actual milk carton full of 600 mils?
Milk carton full of 600 milks. 600 mils?
600.
600.
There you go. All right, I'll bet.
Oh,
done.
no.
Done. Shake it.
Oh,
Yep.
no.
Firm handshakes. 600 milks on this page. Finish P1 and I'll share some milks with you, mate. Bender,
Oh, yeah.
what are you going to bet? You stingy bastard.
No, I'm not betting anything. I'm just saying you're calling it early.
No, get out of here. 600 milks.
My tongue's been getting me in trouble.
That's
tonight.
only like, what, $1,800?
It's all you can organise a bulk
So-
buy discount.
Back to that GoFundMe. We might need to change the wording.
Power cut tasks. Do you reckon you can arrange that? Do you reckon you get John to sneak around, cut the power or something? Can you make that happen?
I'm not
Oh,
showing any
please,
milks
nah,
of
please
anyone.
don't do that. Goodness Christ. Peach could bench press a house. I'm not sure what he'd do to me if he found out that I was the one who bet against him.
It's happened. He's going to watch his back now.
Oh. He'd fly down from Thailand or Taiwan or wherever he is and he'd absolutely monster me. Not to Thailand, yeah, that's what I thought it was. What did I say? Taiwan? I said Thailand and Taiwan. I hedged my bets there a little.
Oh, did you though?
Totally different parts of the Asian peninsula, so I probably didn't do it very well.
I mean,
Southeast Asia. That would have closed that gap a little bit. Reds up, pitting. Oh, very bumpy through that pit lane, isn't it?
it takes in as well.
Yeah, the back of that Porsche looks very unhappy for Tatey, so he'll be fixing damage. Wouldn't be surprised if Shazrin comes out in front of him. Depending on how long ago Tatey went in there. But it looks like he's copped one up the rear at some point, Justin Tate.
No doubt. Also in the game,
Whoa! Save that for Sundays.
Saturday nights, mate. Saturday nights.
Benjamin Hignett has driven a very nice race so far. We watched him get one done around the outside of... Was it Pass that he got around the outside of?
Yes.
So he's having a great race so far. Up here in P6 at the moment, but with all of those penalties still to play out and pit stops as well, there's a chance he could make one or two. There is a bit of a gap between himself and those penalties, but as I said, with the pit stops and penalties to serve, anything can happen. Still plenty of time left. Another penalty being handed down for car 840, which is Michael Manns, I reckon. 5 seconds for causing a collision. So this is your race start. This is what happened when Bender and I spotted the exit stage left. Just a little bit of help there from one of the Penfolds, it looks like. Those bright green liveries standing out like a sore thumb in the replay there.
Yeah, you won't be able to want to watch that one back at all, I don't think.
Get that car out of here. Don't want to see that on that grid. That's what, you know, driver behind was saying. Get out the way. Suffering at COTA. Rock Godfrey, you need to change your team name.
So yeah, just got a really nice start. Actually, don't think that was Penfold. I think that's Malloy. In the, you can see both Penfolds are there, and the greens are a little bit lighter. So I think that was Malloy. He's the other green car on the grid. So he's just had a really good start, has Malloy. Oh, he has too. Oh no. That's a shame. Indeed. Chasm doing the right thing there and jumping on the brakes and waiting for the field to go through, which is one of the better rejoins we've seen this season.
Yeah, we've seen some great ones recently.
Still, I'll never get over that 100.
Well, for me, it was the one, what was it, Bathurst last week. Stuck it in the wall at turn 1 and then reversed back onto the track. Oh.
We've been watching this develop for a little while. Sorry, Benny, you go.
I was going to say, we've seen a few people pit. I was going to ask, do you think Ignat pulls the trigger and comes in? Tries the undercut?
Ooh, well, not this lap. He's just made his way past the pit lane, but it wouldn't be a bad shout. I was just going to say, it looks like he's got the pace to get one done on Godfrey, but if he doesn't think he can get it done on track, then perhaps the undercut's the way to go. Absolutely zero to very little knowledge of what is strong here in terms of undercut, overcut, what the length of the pit lane is. That's McKinn's coming into the pit lane now, so he's going to get his done as we approach the halfway mark. It's been a very good recovery drive from McKinn so far from the back of the field up there in P12.
Well, Ignat was going to stick that then, but just drifted off the track.
I think he just spooked himself a little bit there because the Honda was taking a very defensive line and it just caught him out. Oh, the Honda, what the Honda, what's
redressing,
going on?
I would
He's
suggest.
off track there, Ignat.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. And all of this battling has just invited Reece Penfold in.
Yeah.
As they come onto the back straight, he'll
Makes more sense.
happily jump into the toe here of Ignat and Godfrey.
Top speed for Lambo.
In a toe.
258. I think maybe hit 59 on the toe. I've watched them all on the toe so far, so it's a good measure.
Yep.
So once these pit stops start rolling along, all those times, those penalties will start being removed from the board, so it doesn't look so bad.
So race leader, JP's in the pit lane.
His car's looking a bit spicy at the moment, so I wouldn't be surprised if he pits soon. He's very defensive, and he's pitting right now, as expected.
And this is the lap for Ignat.
And
Push it
Penfold's
this lap.
pitted as well.
Looks next lap.
We are halfway through. Keep it up.
So for those that have pitted, Justin Tate leads the way. Feel bad for James Lorenz, who's got binned within probably 2 or 3 seconds of the race start. Divad Lucci, that's how you say it?
Yep, that's what I'd go with.
He's out there. Jake Graham has pulled up stumps. But he has done 12 laps, and maybe he's just in the pits, actually making a pit stop.
Yeah, well, it'd be 2 laps down, so yeah, it could be.
Sinekas comes out in P7, sorry, P7. Tapano, Velasquez, Hignett, Bubnow, Bridge, T-Fighty in front of him. But we expect they'll pit very soon with 28 minutes to go. Oh, I don't have a big enough fridge, JC.
It's not over yet. That's an impressive drive from Don, actually, up there in P6 at the moment. I know there's still pit stops to complete and whatnot. But no, he's in the very top half of the field at the moment. Whether or not he's going for the bender straight, he's going to try and plonk himself up there in the top 3 at some point. But he's looking really strong here so far. No errors, nothing spicy. He's got no penalties. He's looking really good.
And we've just seen, is that Reese Penfold or Rob Penfold in 72? Just picked up a drive-through.
Reese Penfold.
A racy boy, that would
car
be
72.
probably for the pit stop. So he's had a moment in the pits, maybe. He was the one that caught up to that battle. So that's ruled him out. He's gone.
Looked like he went into the pits quite fast because he was a little bit closer to Godfrey on the entry than he was on the track. So it's going to be a 10-second penalty, you'd imagine.
Donald's just got to just do his thing here. He doesn't have to give up the position, and does anyway. Never mind. Made a mistake, went a bit too deep there in the second last corner. Copano and Bubnow are in the pits. T-Fighty stays out. We've got battle for 25th right behind. Happy to say the next season we will have another mini endurance during the season. We're still working on about 2 or 3 tracks to vote on for the mini endurance, but we won't have that up until closer to the season start for those that are racing, not just anyone having a good old vote. Paul Ricard. Yeah. I knew those Amazon accounts were yours.
Got any inkling as what the mini endurance potential candidates might be?
Little short list, little teaser.
I do actually. Alton Park will be on there.
What?
Oh, Alton Park!
That'll be one
Really?
One of selection. Yep.
Wow.
Don't
Okay.
mind that. Don't mind that
I'm
at
a
all.
big fan of that. I can tell you what, Babby's getting all of his Christmases at once. What is this? Goodness me. Alton Park. All right, well, that's probably already one based off of popularity. What else you got?
That's it. So Alton Park next year. No, I'm just joking. You have to wait and see. If you've got some suggestions in chat and why that suggestion might work, let us know. I like to listen and get ideas and see what you guys want to do, because that's what it's all about. Obviously, some suggestions won't work.
How about 90 minutes of rain at Silverstone?
How does
Spender.
how does explicit sound?
We just start our own wet series with blackjack and hookers, I reckon. Muller's not
We
biting
really
on
should.
this at all. He's not had any of this. For the last 3 weeks, we've been trying to sell this to him. He doesn't want anything to do with it. Mate, I reckon if we arrange it, we sort it out, they'll come.
No, they'll come for a week and then no one will rock up the next week. It'll be a special event. Speaking of which, I finally want to get around to doing this properly, but we're going to have community nights regularly every month, at least one a month. If you are a Project Cars 2 fan, now, if you're not, go buy it. It's on special in the Steam store, but the news is that it will be pulled from the Steam store within the next month or 2, and you'll never be able to purchase it ever again. The licensing is expired, so they have to pull it from the Steam store. But if you already own the title, you can race on it, and you can race multiplayer with it. Multiplier? That's a new thing. Multiplier of cars. There you go.
New game mode.
So we're going to have a community event on it on a Friday night. So get purchasing if you don't have it, or if you do have it, get it installed, because some of those PC2 fun nights have been an absolute blast. So wait for that announcement and put some suggestions up on what you would like to see for car combo and track combos. Clios at ovals is my only suggestion.
Looking through my library now, apparently I own Project Cars too, so that's a good start. Where does that land in terms of sim/cade? Is it like the Forza type vicinity?
No,
or
it's above Forza. It's probably just below this. Oh, Velasquez has just spun on turn 1. He hasn't pitted yet. So that's going to cost him a lot of time. He's going to have to pit next lap, I reckon, because those tyres are going to be extra spice. We caught that, Velasquez.
So what, he gets in the pits behind him. I don't know whether that 20 seconds is necessarily updated or whether or not that's how far behind he was before he spun. Yeah, I got no idea, but if he was sort of only 10 seconds or so behind him at one point, then maybe that brings Hignett into this battle now with Velasquez.
Probably so. He's in the pits, he's saying. So yeah, PC2 was pretty much the predecessor for AMS2. AMS2 is another step ahead when it comes to sim, but Project Cars was trending in the right direction from Project Cars 1 to Project Cars 2. All good things. So we're all got a bit hyped when we know, oh, they're working on PC3, but the studio went a different direction. They are working on PC4 apparently, which is going to get back to the roots of what PC2 is all about, but I'm not sure if you've already lost those fans. It's going to be hard to trust it after PC3, but watch this space. You've got to give everything a chance.
I think what will have hurt them the most is that the Forza series is now available on PC through the Microsoft Store, Game Pass, and on Steam.
Yeah, and you've also got Codemasters Grid, which is a decent title for that type of genre. I don't know why they went down that path. And if I was to play a game similar to that, I'd just go play Forza Horizon, because it's just fun. It's just arcadey, sim-cadey games should be fun. Just to muck around every now and pick up and play. But the fact there's no pit stops in PC3 and marginal setup changes, yeah. But PC2 is a great title. Great title.
So that'll be Friday nights, you reckon? Is that a regular thing, or are you doing it for once off?
It'll be regular, not every Friday. It'll be one Friday a month or 2 Fridays a month we do it. We're trying to keep weekends free for special events and F1, because some of us also still need a bit of a break. But Friday nights could work.
Oh, we're definitely still doing AMS2, George Fowler. That's on Monday nights. Come and join Parallax and Hamster and I. Parallax will tell you all about AMS2.
AMS2's got its own night. It's got Monday nights at the moment.
It's Monday night, yep.
Yeah, we'll do stuff for that. More so moving forward. There's just been a couple of other priorities over the last month or so that we've had to focus on. And the thing with that is, if we do host AMS2 nights on Mondays, rock up. Come and race. To those that have been asking for it but not turning up, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. We actually don't want to do fully fledged series on AMS2.
It's a nice move by Robertson there. Went around the outside, into the long straight, and then had the inside for the next couple of right-handers. Got good down to 15.
Nice little switch.
What
So
type
there we go. It's updated.
What cars would you be looking to do a series on for those who are interested on AMS2?
Oh, could be a multitude of cars. There's so many different options. I don't think we're going to live and breathe by one in particular. Multi-class is probably the way to go on that title, because we don't do multi-class in F1, we don't do multi-class in ACC as a regular, so I think AMS2 is probably a perfect title for that. So maybe looking at the LMPs, maybe the 3s 3s or 2s are pretty fun. The ARCs are pretty good, but I think they got overtaken a little bit by other preferences. But I'm easy. I personally don't mind what we race in, as long as it's accessible and fun. Yeah, AMS2 is a absolute riot if you have it, and it's improving patch by patch. Lots of work going into that. Oh, Alex Pass has got a drive-through penalty. He's battling for the 10th position with McKinns. McKinns just quietly up to P10 now.
Doing very nicely, but again, Shazran not far behind either. He's been following him through the field very nicely on a recovery drive as well. So both those drivers, McKinns and Shazran, having really nice recovery drives. T-Fighty in the pits went as high as P3 with the Bender Strat, so that's a good first 40 minutes for him. Just 20 minutes to go now. He'll filter back out into the field, and we'll see what sort of result he can pull out of this. Ignat, another one who's made a few moves tonight, is just looking very nice. And that spin from Velasquez on his way into, well, not his way into the pit lane, but on his in-lap, essentially. Up here in turn 1, we saw him doing some donuts for the crowd. And this has closed the gap between himself and Hignett. Hignett now right on his tail after being 20 or so seconds behind before the Velasquez pit stop. So this has invited him right in.
Well, he's only 2.5 seconds off podium there, Hignett. Did well in the pit stops with the overcut on Godfrey. He's well and truly cleared that battle now. Of course, Velasquez only 2.2 behind Maddox, who's currently 3rd. So, it'll be interesting to see if Hignett can get past Velasquez here. Looks to be the faster driver at this stage of the race. Perhaps could have a little bit of a dash at the podium.
Deep there, though. A little mistake there from Hignett, as you called it, Bender. That might be a little curse from you. Hignett just going a little deep there into the hairpin before the straight, so that'll cost him all the way down here. Velasquez just gets to breathe a little sigh of relief for a little bit. But you're right, he looks quick.
Was there another moment there for someone? Did Tate have a moment? Because McKinns is up to 8th there. It's flying along.
No, because they fighting pit.
Oh, is that what updated?
Yeah, that's what updated pit.
Yeah, but McKinns wasn't
that
P9.
would be right. Yeah, exactly. So he would have got. He was gaining 10th thanks to. Oh, there we go. So Bob Now's just dropped back. I think Tate's had a moment. He's got a bit of damage there.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, because McKinns was hiding Redzer for P10. Got Redzer. So if old mate T-Fighty dropped out, he would have gone to P9, and he's also got another one. So I think it was Tate. If I could look back at the replay screen, I'm sure I'll find this man in the
Might have
world
been
of
Pass. Pass, we were talking about, had his drive-through. He served that now. Maybe he's the one.
No, he was
that
further
dropped
back.
back.
He was behind them already.
Okay.
Scarney, DT, another man to pick one up. So we have seen a few drive-throughs, but they haven't all been for track limits. There's also been one for pit speeding.
Scarney grabs himself a drive-through. Unlucky. Trying to back up after his good performance last week.
I'm guessing he just missed what I said.
And apparently I did.
Did you hear that, Bender?
I did.
You've done that to me before.
I have. It's the second time JC's done it though tonight. He did
Is
it
it?
earlier on when I was talking up
Maybe I need a...
COTA, and then he said the same thing about track limits. So I'm like, mate, I just said that.
Maybe I need a cup of tea.
Maybe you need a cup of tea.
I mean, he's
now,
obviously struggling with
quick
the
nap.
matrix, between Wednesday and Thursday night.
Very
Don't
much.
get me started on that. What a start to the night that was. Won't make the same mistake tomorrow. Looking forward to joining Alex in the booth tomorrow night. Having a lot of fun commentating with Alex. Who's up next? Porsche Cup BMW. Yourself, Bender, and...
Imey.
Alex Imey.
Right. I was right.
Oh, no.
Round he goes. Just a little kiss on the wall, but that's enough to hurt the front end of the Porsche. Unlucky, Justin. JC just copying. That's good from you. That's sharp. This is Pass and T Fighty going at it. Pass gets one done on T Fighty before they even get to the braking zone. Now T Fighty wiggling around behind the Nissan in the slipstream. Pass moves over to the inside, defends that inside line. T Fighty goes for a little switchback, but doesn't get enough on it. So Pass gets one done. Up into P15, he goes. T Fighty to P16. 13 minutes to go. Be a couple of nervous drivers out there sitting on 3 warnings. T Fighty taking a lot of sausage there on the inside. Costs him.
Three-car battle here for P12. Robertson the meat in this sandwich, but he does have a 10-second penalty. This is more for pride than anything at the moment for this position. We'll go on board with him. B-Rob.
So we've also just seen from our race director, one of our officials rather, that car 33 has had a 15-second time penalty for an unsafe region. Might send a replay of that if we get the chance. Those are always good viewing.
Very active in chat tonight has Fire Lords. There's a lot of penalties.
I don't know if I like it. I'd rather not know. Just doesn't look good.
Oh, they're all teaching moments.
They are, if you're willing to learn.
Not wrong about this 3-way battle. This is getting very tight between Sugden, Robertson and Pether Bridge.
I just want to give a quick shout out to I'll wait for this to finish. Oh, he's going to have a look. Robertson, no. Tuck in. Maybe a little bit
of contact.
Just a quick shout out to all Carlton supporters. Get that one up, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Where'd that come from? That was unprovoked.
Hopping straight.
No, okay. There's a background story to it.
I hope there is, because that was savage.
I am a Magpies fan since I was a wee little grasshopper. And I don't message people about results, really. I couldn't give a shit. But every time Carlton beat us, I'll hear from someone I haven't heard from for 15 years to let me know about it. And I'm actually sad they didn't make the finals. But I'm also ecstatic it was us that knocked them out. So, much love, Carlton supporters. Could be worse. You could be a Bombers fan.
Oh, no. That's also
double! Bang, bang!
What are you doing?
They can't bring back.
You can't be disappointed with Essendon because you're already disappointed by Essendon, if you know what I mean.
Surely not, Bender.
What'd you say, Bender?
They can't bring back James Hurd. I mean, I don't want to get derailed from the race here. As we see, Justin Tate's picked up a drive-through penalty for track limits, but
bad to worse, Tate.
You can't do it, surely. The PR.
Not as a head coach. I think they're going to bring him back as a midfield coach or something like that.
He shouldn't be allowed anywhere near any.
I think some time has passed. It's like saying Steve Smith shouldn't be the captain of Australia, which I totally agree with. He shouldn't have been allowed to be the captain.
There's different things here. I agree with that statement, but cheating is very different to injecting unknown foreign substances that you've illegally imported into players' bodies.
Both of them sound like cheating to me.
Yeah, well, I'm saying there's levels.
There's many different ways to skin a cat, but they both cheated, and I don't think you're right. I think you're right. We think we agree here that they shouldn't be allowed to be the top dog, but I do think he'll be allowed back into the side, and he'll probably become a midfield coach or something. Jan, up and about now. You've got to go on with the pies.
It's interesting you mention that. I actually worked with someone who was a player under James Hurd during that time and got suspended, and I had to serve and look after his position at my work to cover his 9-month suspension. And I won't tell you the things that I've been told and found out during that time, but it doesn't paint a much prettier picture. But in the same time...
Hang on. So you're just going to dangle that there and not tell us?
Yes.
But I'm
yes.
also saying that, yes, you get done, you cop your wax. Do you deserve a second chance? It's not different to going to jail, getting back out of jail and redeeming yourself. Like...
But there's some things that are just unredeemable.
Yeah, but that's up to the club to decide whether he gets that position again. I don't think it's a general public decision. I personally don't think that he should be given the position of power based on what transpired, but I'm also saying that we do make mistakes as human beings, and if there's an opportunity for him to redeem himself, so be it.
Would you consider the members as a part of the club?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, 100% the members are the ones paying, and if they are against that idea, I think they should get a say. But the members aren't always knowing the best interest of things too, like anyone really. It's a mess. It's a bloody mess.
There's a difference between, I think, making an honest mistake and then being deceitful about what you're doing and trying to subvert the rules to gain an illegal advantage. That's not an honest mistake. You've intentionally, knowingly, willingly done that.
I think in that whole aspect, the club doctor is the one that should be whacked the most, being a trained medical professional allowing that shit to transpire. I hope he lost his license, because, yeah, that's even worse.
Well, I think all of them involved should be, it's just my personal opinion, should be banned from all football activities. Like, you can't tell me that you go into that thinking, oh no, this is going to be fine, you know? I mean, it looks like it's okay, but what happened if one of the players, you know, had a kid that was born with all sorts of strange deformities and it came back to what they were injecting them with? Like, how's that going to fly?
I reckon,
Well,
that's something,
you know,
I reckon that's something we look at in the future. We just won't know for now.
We won't know, yeah. So,
But yeah, it's either way, it's pretty ugly. I don't understand why people try and find a way to improve against the goodwill of the sport, or any sport, whether it's motorsport, AFL, fucking curling. Those curling cheats, I tell you what, those magical brooms they use, get out.
How would you cheat?
I don't what? I'm sure there's ways. That's the funny thing. I'm sure there's a way. Like, oh, I'm using an aluminium broom. It's like 3 times lighter, and I've rigged the ice and the chocks.
The under ice heating has been, you know, turned up 2 degrees, so it's slightly less resistant or something.
Heated brooms?
Heated. Oh, yeah, not the ice. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know. Can't say. And all the scandals are swept away. See, that's great there,
yes, John.
Bang.
It's sharp from you.
Like, yeah, AFL's had its moments. There's been lots of sports that have had their moments. It's just nice to see them get whacked. Carlton have done it. West Coast have done it. Collingwood's probably done it. I reckon every club's done it. Just some a bit more severe than others. Putting things into people's bodies. Probably top of the list of things of not to do.
We've had a great 20 years.
And that's the sad thing, JC. It's kind of just taken it away from you guys that follow Essendon. Like, you guys copped it more than anyone. I know the players copped it, and they've kind of...
Oh, Velasquez.
That's a
what
good
a save. That's a pad save. He's made that look easy. He's done nicely, Velasquez. Hangs on to P4 by the skin of his tyres.
Eurobeat music intensifies.
But yeah, I wouldn't have been so upset about... Oh, God, again! Oh, no!
He ain't saving that one.
Oh, he's still going straight, though, so it won't be too bad, but there will be damage to carry for the last 4 minutes, and another Ignat bearing down on him, potentially, on the last lap. So Velasquez just struggling in the later part of this stint. There he is. Ignat has indeed closed in on Velasquez here after that error. So this will be a spicy watch for the last 4.5 minutes. Me? Paul, come on now. I didn't jinx him. I said it was a good save. I guess that's not a curse. Someone's got to commentate, Paul. Oh, I don't want to curse Velasquez. We love that man. He commentates my splits. I've got to be careful. I don't want him to come out and curse me tomorrow night.
Yeah, pro cycling is the peak of performance-enhancing drugs. That's for sure. First off, you got to be on drugs to want to ride a bike.
I think athletics as well.
You'd have to give me drugs to get on one of those things for more than bloody 15 minutes.
Is that true, Johnny?
What's
Maddox yet to finish on any sort of podium, so this will be his first podium if he keeps it clean.
Yeah, there's a big old question mark there, though.
In terms of?
His question. Don't think he has at a podium? Question mark? It wasn't
Right.
He
No,
hasn't
he'd
at a
know.
podium. Exclamation mark?
He's part of the Kovacs stable, so he would know better than most if indeed that is the case. So I'll trust his
Kovacs stable.
stable.
Are they
No?
horses?
Well,
Oh, don't go there. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
you knew.
Lovely race here. Was this one split sunset? Let's just go check Robert Maddox's results this season. Robert Maddox, part of the Kovacs pit crew. Pit? I don't know. Garage? Fuck. I'll be here a week. My name's Neil. Maddox, he has lost all his points. So, they've all been taken off.
He's still.
He has had a podium. He has
There is a
had
podium here,
There
yeah.
is a podium. Race
There you
one.
go.
Race one at good old Hungaroring. Where were we at? I can't remember. That Kyalami.
Alarmy.
That was a waste of a conversation, but nevertheless, we found out some vital information. Penfold
Yep.
fighting for 6th, but has a 10-second penalty. Not under threat from the car behind, though.
Round one, Kyalami was indeed Page.
Leaders on final
Maddox
lap.
and Godfrey on the podium. So not his first, but he'll be still very keen to hang on to that P3, I'm sure.
Let's go live chat. Don't know what's doing that for me.
Bit of Chad on Chad action here continuing as Sugden tries to hold off Petherbridge. Sugden having a pretty good race. This is his first time in the Aston, I reckon. He's been a McLaren man since he joined OOR season or two ago. So this is for a first crack in the Aston. He's doing very nicely up there in P12. Robertson has got past him in the last lap or two. Oh, that was close from Petherbridge under brakes there.
And here he is. 600 milks.
It's not over yet.
Oh, imagine his BMW just takes off into
Living
the
at home, JP.
stratosphere, disconnected.
Jean-Pierre
wanted to do.
Submarinus. Better than you. What are you doing in chat? What's happened, Avids? Oh, Jared. Oh, goodness me.
Has Jared finished a race in 2022?
Can you answer that for us, Jared? In both.
I've got
I'm
no
sure you
idea.
finished a few in F1.
Does anyone remember the Maldonado Crash Today website? Has Elish finished a race? The
come
last
on.
time since Elish finished.
Why you got to do my man like this?
Nah, I love you, Jared.
We
Jared's
do love Jared. We want him to have a good bloody result. And he
I
was
do.
on
That's what I'm
tonight.
saying. Consistency is what he needs to find, and everything else will come his way.
But that bloody drive-through 20 minutes in stuck a very heavy spool in the spokes, and now you're in chat with a minute to go. Oh, not your night again. Unfortunate.
But we can give you a bit of a bender fact here, JC. We can.
Well, wait until Page crosses the line because we're coming very much
right.
into the last sector now, and the Page man has done it again. I think he's 4 from 5 this season in this sprint series. He's behind Malloy at the moment as they cross the line. Malloy in P18, so everyone below that has been lapped by the purple Page man as he slows down to take the checkered flag in front of his fans. Lopano will come around in P2. He'll be pretty pleased with that again. No match for Peach tonight. I don't think anyone was a match for Peach tonight. Even without the penalties handed out for the grid starts, he is 13 seconds clear of anyone else. So it'll be Peach, Flapano, and Maddox will grab his second podium of this season in particular in P3. So a nice little 1-3 there for the Kovacs lads, and Velasquez will come home in P4. He will hold off Hignett, who follows him in P5. A lot of drivers coming over the line slowly. Oh no, the line's further back there. It's like literally at the corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
So as soon as they cross, yeah, it's this first line here, which is why I saw Pete slowing up. I thought, what's he doing?
Oh, Pethy Bridge drive through the last bit of the race.
Oh no.
He's going to send it though.
Down the inside, a pass. And this invites Sugden in too. Sugden got a nice little exit, but there's no room out there.
Switchback.
Can he go for a switchback?
Yep. Try and get to the apex first. He's going to be close. He does it.
Nice, Chatty boy.
Nice work.
Chad on Chad action. That's unfortunate for Pethy Bridge, that late drive through. So he'll cross the line. Obviously, he won't serve it, but he'll get whacked with 30 seconds, which, based on those gaps there, will send him back to P18. That's a fair loss of position for Pethy Bridge. Shazran in the top 10. That's a huge recovery drive for him and McKins, who finished in P8 after they were at the back of the field after the formation lap, lap 1. So good results for those guys. Bmw in the top 10 as well. Reece Penfold, another good result. Godfrey as well. It ended up finishing with Robertson in P11, but with that penalty, that might drop him back, which might mean Pass and Sugden move up. Dante Fighty with a nice little result as well. A couple of penalties might see him shoot up to 15th, 14th-ish. It is P15 for Dante Fighty. And Tatey, after a couple of interesting little incidents for Tatey, where he had a snap or two and a bit of damage from others potentially, and he still managed to finish P14. So good pace from Tatey. Meg going by the goddamn bulldozer.
It's a good debut here for COTA. We learn a lot. Drive-through penalties are a thing. We're going to pick them up. Lots of good racing though, wheel to wheel. Final results for Pro Sonikas, Clapano, Maddox. In Pro Am, we have Godfrey, Bmw, Shazran, and in AM class, Penfold, Sugden, and Scarney. Silver class Leans has got the trifecta. Go on, Bender, go on about it. And Safety Car wins national. Great racing. Let's get ready for Porsche Cup / BMW M2. I'll just get this up on my other screen.
It's been a while since we've had a single class Grand Slam.
Jeez. So you can tell us your Bender fact now. Here's your chance.
I was just going to tell you, JC, before talking about Jared Ellis, he is the only driver in OOR history, and this is not a happy memory for him, but has had a suspended race ban over 5 races.
What?
Yeah, what? Go again.
So many moons ago in the F1 series, he caused such a bad incident that he was on probation for the next 5 races, that if he caused a single incident, it would result in a race ban.
Was he?
And that is the harshest penalty given out in the F1 series in OR history.
Bender just full of positivity at the moment.
Well, no, it's not such a great fact, but you're talking about Jared Ellis not finishing races, and
why you got to boot my man when he's down?
I'm just recounting the annals of OR history, mate.
Garrett, I want you to come out on Sunday and absolutely prove Bender wrong. Bender specifically thinks you're going to do poorly this Sunday.
Ask how
based
Bender's
on the
gone
night
this
you've had.
season in F1.
I finished 4th on the weekend, mate. Calm down. It's better than you.
Yeah.
Oh, he did finish 4th. It was a good
probably
result
about
for
4
Bender.
seconds racing, people. F1 guys, if you're out there, practice racing wheel to wheel in an actual multiplayer server rather than on time trial. Thank you very much. Bye.
Yeah, don't practice in time trial. It's totally different to Grand Prix. The grip levels are different. Everything's different. Just go and practice in Grand Prix, for goodness sake. Practice, Bender, and you finish in the top 4.
Do your mum a favour.
Look, I did practice last week and I finished 4th. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. It wasn't P3, but I've had a 4th this year. Best track in the world, yeah. Mate, I could have had 2 podiums, except sometimes the rubber the green doesn't go your way. And
You were on in Australia. Australia was very rough. You were definitely on there. Anyway, have fun with the Porsche Cups and the BMWs. Hopefully there's a nice stacked grid here tonight. Hello to you and goodbye to you, Alex Imey. Enjoy yourselves. I'm out for now.
See you, buddy.
Thanks, JC.
That was an interesting welcome.
Always.
Pretty busy from our vantage point in the steward's box. Got a few penalties handed out.
Yeah, it did get a bit chaotic at times, particularly at the start. Just a few people out of position, but it did quieten down after that a little bit. A lot of it was those track limit drive-throughs.
I just don't understand why split sunset and race labs don't get along, because it works beautifully for this one. What class is now going to be on? Nope. We have 17 BMWs out there. They have overtaken the Porsche Cups.
BMW
A very
Revolution.
decent sized field.
There you go. No, I want to turn that off actually. Nope, that doesn't do absolute jackety split. Plenty of spots left if anyone wants to jump out there tonight. If you're on the OR Discord, there's a Porsche Cup voice channel you've got to be in. Server details are on the voice channel area as well. A lot of fun here. Already, I reckon it'll be dicey in the Porsche Cup. More so than Bathurst.
Yeah, it is very bumpy. And quite an undulating track as well. So no TC could catch a few people out. That's always interesting.
I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in a few minutes. Bender.
No worries.
Yes, I do imagine this will be a track where the Porsches in particular will be right on the edge with that no traction control. Similar area to the GT3s, but not quite as much, and renowned for being a bit hard on their tyres.
Have you done many laps around COTA, Alex?
In ACC, not a one.
I mean, it should be interesting then. I imagine a lot of people, unless they race in the F1 series, would be pretty similar position.
Green light, give it all you can.
So we have the start of the Porsche Qualifying, I believe.
Yes, we've got Porsche Qualifying 12, not even 12 minutes, 10 minutes. It's at 12 o'clock. Disappointingly, again, it is far too dry for my liking. No rain. I think we should definitely restart the server until we get some interesting conditions.
Oh, they've still got the race yet. You might still get your wish.
So times, what are we expecting around here? And what's the gap difference between the two cars? Normally about 10 seconds a lap, roughly?
I think it'll be a fair bit more at this track. It is a fairly long track. We're looking at just over 2 minutes per lap for GT3 cars. So I would not be surprised to see more of a 20, maybe even 25 second per lap gap.
Wow.
Probably
Massive.
20 seconds. Certainly the Porsches have the aero advantage through the first sector. The BMWs relying solely on their mechanical grip.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to during the race, particularly the Porsches. If they're battling, you don't want to catch up to Beamers in Sector 1 or really Sector 3. Not many overtaking opportunities. Of course, you can't just hunt people off the road.
Oh, you can. You just have to deal with the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, so that's something that not a lot of people realise. Like, my actions have consequences.
As said, in this case, the stewards will probably be waving a very big and heavy stick at you.
There you go, Matt Powell in chat saying 2:26s for the Bendos. It was the fastest time in practice, so yeah, that's quite a gap. Imagine the Porsches will be around, 205s to 210s like we were seeing with the GT3s.
I imagine it'll probably be that little bit slower than the GT3, so probably 207 to 210 mark, so yeah, that's nearly a 20-second gap. And obviously the slower BMW drivers will have a much bigger gap to the front Porsche drivers.
I see in chat saying, have you Bender? Have I what, mate? Not sure what you're referring to there. So JP is in chat. Let's have a look. Who else is there? We've got Reese Penfold. We've got Glenn. We've got Jared, George. Everyone's there. Chad's in as well. Oh, great to see people sticking around. Tuning in for second race of tonight.
Certainly the Porsche Cup and BMWs are the race that I look forward to most in the week, because I love the multi-class aspect of it.
Yeah, it definitely offers something different to what we're used to. I think it's a bit hit and miss for me at times. But no, it's certainly entertaining.
I am personally a big fan of multi-class racing, particularly in real life with the Le Mans series and things like that. I just, yeah, I think it's great viewing.
Yeah, well, it'd be nice. I mean, if the rumoured GT2 pack comes out sometime next year as a sort of final ACC DLC, imagine if we could get some sort of massive field and do a combined GT2, GT3, GT4 endurance race. That'd be quite epic, I reckon.
Yeah, it would certainly be interesting to see just the difference between the GT2s and the GT3s as well as GT4s in there, and what sort of racing you get out of that.
I mean, of course, you could just run it at Monza for maximum carnage. No, I think somewhere like Silverstone would probably be better suited for that, perhaps, where you can actually overtake.
Yeah, you certainly want areas that you can overtake, but also some spots that are relying on downforce and things like that. And yeah, as Matt's saying there, we did do the last time we did Paul Ricard actually was a GT3 and GT4 multi-class enduro, but there just there weren't enough GT4s really to make it worthwhile, unfortunately.
I think there was 9 or 10 GT4 teams, and obviously by that discrepancy in pace, and there was really only a couple of cars in that field that you were battling with. Got some times in with 3 minutes to go. It looks like Stephen Ty at the moment, 2:08.7. Leads the way. A couple of drivers in the 2-minute 10s. Still a lot of drivers yet to set a time though, which is a bit surprising.
It is an easy track to invalidate on, particularly through the S's, as I'm sure it was probably mentioned in the last race, but the white lines are the limit at this track, not the curb like some people are used to.
Yes, I think that's what F1 is battling with at the moment. Consistency with using the white lines.
But if those are the rules, those are the rules. It's the same for everyone, so if some people are able to set laps, there shouldn't be any reason why you can't as well.
A few more fans of multi-class racing in chat saying they'd love to have another multi-class enduro, so might get Fact definitely pitch that idea to him.
I think the only way it would work is a mandated number of cars in each class. Because you do need to have the larger numbers in both fields, particularly if the pace is a little bit spread out. You want to have groups that are fighting together, otherwise it's just not really all that fun for anyone.
Maybe you could do something like, if it is GT2, 3 and 4, assuming the game allows it, do 3 groups of 20 and have people sign up first in best dress for a particular class and off you go, or something like that, however it works, and there you go. Just so you ensure you got enough cars of each class going around.
It would certainly be quite the field, 60 cars. Obviously that would limit the track selection, but it's an interesting concept, that's for sure. I think Spa also allows 80. I think Suzuka's 100 and Spa is 80.
Are those the 2 biggest tracks, aren't they? Oh, Lee Perkins loops there.
That's A-line. We have some close times between the top 3 there.
$60 cars at Brands Hatch. You could make it a 96-hour race or whatever it was. It was talking about a while back. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, well, that's a lot of bouncing on the pit limiter there for that Porsche. It was interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a bouncy pit entry.
Yes, there you go. Question in chat. What tracks do allow 60 cars? I imagine, obviously, Spa and Suzuka we know about. I imagine Silverstone would have plenty of grid boxes with the long pit lane there. Indy's another good shout.
Yeah, not sure what the new tracks have for their pit box limits. I do know there was a list floating around with them somewhere, and I'm pretty sure the only ones over 50 America pack were Spa and Suzuka.
Ah, so even Silverstone doesn't get that. That's a shame. It's got a massive pit lane though.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how they work out how many pit boxes they're putting in there, if it's based off of any real life data or what.
So looks like we're just waiting for Jake Graham to come around now as time has expired. And so he's going to
He's
time
run
out.
out of time.
Oh, that's a little awkward. Jake's going to start P12. He put a time in at the end, and it was 2:19, so it wasn't too quick anyway.
Wow.
Now we're back. We've got the Bmw qualifying session up next. Once Mr. Cameraman can flick over to the appropriate graphics, please. We've got 17 Beamers, I think it is.
I think there was 17 or 18 when we were last there, but some more might have jumped in after sunset, so some of those drivers may have jumped across. 18 we've got now. Including both of the Sonokai this time around.
Is that the plural? Is it Sonokai? Not Sonicus?
I think that's what we came up with a while back. Sonokai brothers.
This is massive. You've got 18 Beamers. This is going to be great.
I tell you, who won't be liking that number of Beamers will be the Porsche drivers. Just more traffic to get in the way, particularly through those S's.
We don't care about them.
It means more entertainment for us, so we're not complaining.
We've got a little bit of time for drivers to start their hot laps. Not sure if you're into management games, Alex, but the F1 manager game, the official game, launches late tomorrow night for us Australians. Let us know in chat if you're getting it or you've already got it and what team you're going to take over.
I haven't pre-ordered it. I do have the Motorsport Manager, which I've played a fair bit of and do quite enjoy. But I just want to see what this one's like before I go putting any money into it. So I do know, I can't remember, was it $70 or $80?
Yeah, it's quite expensive for a management game. $71 at the moment. I think it's $79.95 after the 10% pre-order discount goes away.
Yeah, it might be one of those that I might wait till it's on sale or something like that. We'll see.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. You could easily probably get it on the Christmas sale at 30 to 50% off. You know, because they'll already be working on next year's one, and that'll probably have been announced or something. You know, so all these yearly sports titles seem to get discounted pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you want to have it when it's brand new and the latest and greatest and all that, go for it. I'm not as fussed personally.
Ah yes, we've got the update we've all been waiting for. Megan D has seen the stream and she's saying in chat, hello. Glad you saw the safety car from last split. Saying, I will not succumb to bullying.
It's not bullying,
buy
it's
the
peer
bulldozer.
pressure. Completely different.
Yeah, we've got your best interests at heart. Don't listen to yourself. We know what we're doing. We're telling you
You
to
know
buy the
you'll
bulldozer.
enjoy the bulldozer.
Yeah, 100%. The chat asking any update on raffle ticket prices? Not yet. I imagine all sorts of details like that will come out probably next week in the lead up to the 8 hours of Paul Ricard sponsored by VRS.
So I assume that has been spoken about already a fair bit, but it is pretty exciting to have them on board.
Yes, we had a good moment. We were just talking about them sponsoring us, or the event rather, and then we had an incident at turn 1. So it was an aptly timed promotion.
That is always the way.
Alright, starting to see a couple of times coming through now. 4 minutes left in the session. I was probably about to get 2 more flying laps in. 2:24.7 of Ben Vintner is the fastest time at the moment. That's a cut there for Austin.
Yeah, I don't think the game will be letting him have that lap. And as we saw in Sunset, you do have to be careful with cutting the track during qualifying because it will actually disqualify you if you cut it in the wrong spot.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. There's a few tracks in this game that you can do that. I think Zolder is one of them. You cut the sort of chicane on the inside of the back end of the track. Not Zolder,
Mazzano
sorry,
will-
Misano. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
Yeah,
of.
Mazzano it will absolutely slap you for that, cutting that hairpin. I know Silverstone can be a bit funny sometimes. I'm not sure if they've fixed it, but I know there is a section where if you miss the microsector line, it will actually just put you a lap down in the race, so it won't count the current lap you're on.
Oh, I remember, who was it? That happened to someone in the Sprint Series last time we were there.
It did, yes. I don't remember who it was off the top of my head, but there was a lot of post-race investigation as to what the hell happened there until we finally figured it out.
Yeah, chat saying bank accounts don't have hearts. So don't worry about your heart's interest in your bank account. We know what we're talking about. Imagine if we could just paste that livery onto the whole field. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, that would be something, wouldn't it?
So under 2 minutes to go here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers, both Sonokai, yet to set a time.
John
say that.
showcasing one of his prime liveries there.
Yes, it looks a bit like vomit.
Oh, I believe that's what he's going for.
Well, then he's done it well.
As
He's
he
got-
moves up into P6 with that lap, and Jeep into P4.
Got the right colour combinations, you know, the orange, the part that always looks like the orange chunk of carrots no matter what you've eaten, and the green and the pink parts. Yeah, should bring back the little corner segment, the livery of the week winner. Bring that back again. Him and Van Dyke can have a competition on that.
You could throw Jason, Leonard Scott in on that as well. Brock, if you are thinking that livery is beautiful, I think you might need to go to Specsavers.
Yeah, definitely get your eyes tested. Maybe your brain as well. So it looks like Graham Gibbons here, just going to miss the line. Time has expired, so this is his last lap. Can he improve? Oh, he does. Takes 3/10 off, but stays P5. It's unlucky they're just missing the line to get another lap in.
Vintner, the only one of the BMWs into the 24s. Matt Powell now, another person that we have definitely not peer pressured into buying something.
No, we don't do that around here. We just give friendly advice.
Because of that advice, he's now here and racing. Now, I wonder if the yellow and black livery might be referring to something there. What other machinery do we know of that's yellow and black, generally?
Oh, it wouldn't be construction machinery, would it?
Possibly a bulldozer, maybe?
Yeah, bulldozers are yellow and black, aren't they? And session has timed out, but it looks like Matt Powell did get the lap in. Not really sure there, but it looks
Jumped
like he
him
went
up
up
to P9.
P9 to from P10 to P9.
And we have good old Janetta Weatherburn back in the safety car.
And he's facing these racetracks for the first time. And guys, the conversations in pit lane is, are we going to see rain today? Well, you remember in qualifying, it was the last lap that Jordan Pepper put that Lamborghini in the pole spot. Do you think of the impending rain potentially? How important is the pole position?
I mean, it's definitely very important in such rainy condition that rain can come or not. It's more in front you are, better it is. So Jordan did an amazing last lap. We had a few issues with the tires this morning. But
You might have plenty of Lego already, but you don't have enough Lego.
It's impossible to have enough Lego.
Exactly my point.
Qualifying, we'll get to that story in a second. We've got some late developing stories to touch on first. One, you see the windshield wiper. Well,
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Meg, why did you mention the Lego if you don't want the Lego? See, I think you played yourself there because I'm not going to let it down. At all. Janetta Weatherburn is back, as you just said. Yes, he is. He said he wanted to race tonight in the Janetta, but I'm like, is it a Porsche? Is it a Beamer? It's a no. I went to the
I mean,
Lego shop
even the
other day.
Beamers might beat it in the straight line.
Yeah, but they can't turn. They didn't even have Star Wars Lego. It's all about the speed champions anyway, Lego, for me.
Star Wars Lego is expensive, man. Legit, really expensive, my friend. He's a big Star Wars
Yes,
fan.
it is.
He's got a custom-made Stormtrooper, so he's got lots of Lego as well. I swear, most of his full-time wage, I mean, he's paying rent and that as well, but goes to like Lego and Star Wars themed stuff. It's ridiculous.
Why would you buy Star Wars Lego when you can buy a bulldozer and use it as a practical item around the house? That is the question.
It is an app-controlled bulldozer, so you can use it.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Now you definitely got to buy the
30
bulldozer.
seconds.
All donations on stream, I'll put 20% towards Meg the bulldozer.
20 seconds.
So I had a couple of questions before while we're just on the formation that way for the drivers hit drive. Raffle tickets, do we have a price for those yet?
No,
Or
no,
is that
no
coming
details
up?
yet.
Next week that'll be there. And possibility of seeing a multi-class endurance special event in the future. People in chat were quite keen on that.
Doubt. It's just too hard. It just takes away too much, in my opinion. There's not enough entrance to try. That only works if you've got tiered events like iRacing do, where you can have the same level of ability in the same split. The difference between, say, P1, P22 in Sable running GT4s is too high. Plus, you've also got another half of those cars in a different class, in a different split. It just doesn't work as well as you think it would. Whereas at the moment, the sweet spot is working pretty well because, yes, there are a few teams missing out for the endurance events, but that just pushes them to improve more, to practice more, and adds to the racing and how close it is in the actual race. So I don't see at the moment it being something worth doing on ACC.
Having cars reverse here. Interesting. One of the ideas, I guess, that's being tossed around, and I'm not sure how practical it would be, is basing it on, say, if you had 20, 20, 20, or 30 and 20, or 15, whatever number you're looking at, splitting it into categories, and then having sign-ups, so once that category is full, then you can only sign up for the next category, and so on.
Possibly, but then again, it'll take away classes. So in tier classes, so say if you want to race GT3s, there'll be one class in GT3s, the way we have 3 or 2, because it's just fucking pointless. What's the point of having 3 classes and 20 cars? Like, it just limits the fun. I don't know, it looks good, it sounds good, but it's practicality wise, it's just ideally you want about 40 cars that are similar-ish pace, with those probably top bracket of 10, 15, able to push for a podium. That's kind of a really good sweet spot for a series. But obviously never say never. We're going to try stuff. We always have, but we did the Paul Ricard mixed or the multi-class, and there wasn't enough GT4s. So it just... nah. And also it's really hard to actually broadcast and catch those inter-class battles. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. And the ones that aren't the fastest class kind of miss out because they're not at the top of the leaderboard. Especially if you're using ACC broadcast. So, sorry, wrong button. So that one, that'll show you 23, but it's a bit of a stuff around.
It'll just be 23 GT3 cars, not GT4 cars. So yep.
And unfortunately, Race Labs, well, it's not Race Labs' fault. This game, through the broadcast API, doesn't have some data going through it, which is penalties, which is team names, which is a couple of other little nitbits that we really do watch on the actual broadcaster. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Works well for sprints though, because you don't really need to see team names and we can feed back the penalties. But yeah, that's kind of where it's at. Oh, that's disgusting, John. That's a perler.
That is certainly not making them any better, that's for sure.
No. Reminder to those racing in the Endurance Series for round 3, get those custom liveries in if you want to run them during the events. You have until end of Friday. We really do encourage all of you to get one in. Lots of people out there that can help you with it if you are struggling to do one yourself or don't have time to do one, like myself. Anyway, well, here we are, ready to go. Final race tonight. It's the Porsche Cups and the BMW M2 at COTA for round 5? We'll say 5. 5 sounds good. As you look up the hill, that is a glorious sight. You can just see how steep it is here at COTA. Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. We wait for green lights. We have to look at this little graphic. Where are they? The start and finish line's a different spot. Is the start line?
They've been held a long time.
And halfway up the hill, and the gate race is over. Here we are, we're going. Hopefully a few cars last a bit longer than the GT3s did. A few sends, bit of compression, and the pink Porsches around there, assisted. That's called euthanasia. And the BMW's compressing on the back of the Porsche Cups. That's how compressed it was at the start of that turn one. You just hear those little B boxes. These are the Porsche Cups. Quite a loud note to them. BMW's opposite end of the spectrum.
Nothing.
Quiet car. I'm just cruising around the streets at home. My car's louder than this. Did any of the other non-GT3 cars receive any updates, BOP wise? Or was it just the GT3s?
I think it was just GT3s.
Cool. That's a send. That's a Porsche trying to make its way downtown. It's moving fast. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Places to be, yeah. Walking fast.
Look at it go. Look at it go. It's just shows you the pace difference here between the BMWs and the Porsche. Ethan Carl leads the way. Then is Stephen Ty and Satrio Hamato. I do not believe I've cut a lap here in ACC. I've done quite a few laps here in the F1 game, and that is sketch. Jake Graham's really struggling with the back end of that Porsche. He was saying that in chat earlier. He's just got to be careful now.
You just got to be easy on the accelerator with this, particularly if you've been on the grass.
Yep.
Without the traction control, it is going to want to kick out on you.
Got to be alert at a street circuit.
One of the goats.
Much love to Jolly and Palmer. Now, blue flag rules change here with the multi-class, as was passing a car that is in a lower class than you. You just got to do it safely. Let him have to give way. What were you saying, Bender?
I'm going to ask, does anyone actually know what Jolyon Palmer's doing these days?
Isn't he an analyst somewhere?
I'm not sure.
That sounds about right.
Oh!
It's Jake Graham again.
I think that was, yeah.
Yeah, doing doughies on the grass.
Havingfun.com/Jake Graham. Donate now. There's obviously just hasn't got the setup right. Maybe not quite familiar with how the Porsche no traction works. It does have ABS now, if I'm right.
It does, yes.
Oh, at least that's something.
Even though that's the easier aspect of the car.
However, I don't think the ABS quite works the same as it does in the GT3 cars. I think it's more of a street version of ABS.
Yeah.
So you're still better off trying to avoid activating it where you can. Or I'm talking complete rubbish. I'm sure someone will correct me at some point.
Nah, wouldn't we like you to talk complete rubbish?
No, I've never done that before at all.
Noted. Oh, side by side here through this fast right-hander. Number 5, which is Shady Samuel, decides against it. And here comes Bashtog. Oh, he had a good run, but not a couple of corners you really want to make a pass on. Up the hill is the way to go into turn 1. Shady's looking very vulnerable here. He may have compromised Bashtog's exit though. We've got a bit of a gap there to Mike Rial behind. Welcome back, Mike. Mike's been on holidays. It's good to see you back out there.
Oh yeah, where did he go? Wouldn't mind holiday?
Oh, I have no
Must be
idea. Well,
nice.
let's make it up. He was off to the Maldives.
Oh, beautiful.
What a trip.
Yeah, he was off to the Maldives, was Mr. Mike. I can't say I've been on a holiday overseas since 1997. Fuck, that's a long time ago. Holy moly.
I've never been overseas.
Never been to
Been
Tassie?
to-
I've been to Kangaroo Island.
That's overseas,
That
mate.
sorta
We count
counts.
that.
It was on
Across the
fire
ocean.
at the time, but it still counts.
You're moving across a body of water.
Where's the furthest you've all been from home, chat? I'm going to say I think Anaheim is the furthest that I've been.
That'd be the same for me.
You've been to Anaheim too?
Yeah, went to Anaheim, what was it, I think 2005 or 2007 on a family holiday. Went to Disney World and the other parks there, and Lego World, and all that stuff.
Disneyland is in Anaheim.
Disneyland, is that the one? Okay.
Yes. You got to know your Disneys.
I don't, evidently.
Well, there you go now.
So see a send here, look at that.
Switch back. Oh, well done, Matthew Herod. Timed that to perfection.
That was beautiful. Look at this.
It's going to be three-way down the straight here.
Box the Shell Helix livery
Yeah,
beam.
that's a
in.
good decision,
Don't
John.
mind that.
3 wide, coming down to the end of the straight
not?
here. John should have this. Oh, Sam Ritchie, all right, they're going to stay 3 wide. What driving here by these 3 gents? They're going to keep
Wow.
going. Down to this little complex of corners.
Matthew,
Can they
send
keep
it.
doing it? Matthew's a bit deeper. John's been forced a little bit wider.
The only thing that would make that better is if there was a Porsche coming through to try and
Split them
overlap
up.
them.
They stay
How's
with it
this?
though,
Look
and there's a
at this.
4th competitor joining this discussion. That's Austin Mcneil, with Callum Gibbons right behind. We're going to stick with this battle until it doesn't. Whoa, that's slippy. John reacts to that. Just ahead. Just some good heads-up driving. John's just got nowhere to put that car at the moment. There's no point going inside because you compromise your exit out of the last corner. Here come the start-finish line and head up the hill. Ooh, turn 1's going to be very spicy. They throw a blanket over about 4 or 5 cars here. Is John going to send it late? He might have the opportunity here under brakes. He's going to get 56. 56 is Stefano Rasciuti. Matthew Herod's gone deep, so John could capitalise here and take the lead from this little battle. He does. Great patient heads-up driving there by John.
That's
But
what I
it's-
love about these cars.
There's a Porsche Cup car right behind.
Porsche driver's nightmare.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's tough
Who's
too.
Jake
because-
Graham.
Yeah, you don't have to yield to the Porsche Cup car, but these guys are all fighting for positions, so they're not going to really have the space. As you saw, they just went 3 wide. Rasciuti,
We are getting
Herod.
penalty updates from JLS in chat. So car 33, a 10-second penalty for collision on lap 1.
Rightio. Here comes
Oh
Jake.
no. Oh, the Porsche's gonna send it.
Backs out. Good decision. Wait for the straight. Just wait for the straight, Jake. Use your car there. Get a good exit and then shoot on the outside or inside, wherever you want to go. Whew, he's done it. But they're 2 by 2 here. John has skittled away, as you can see him up the road. Shooty, Herod heads ahead. This is Mcneil, and it looks like Gibbons. Fantastic racing here in the BMW M2. He's gone a little bit deep there, Mcneil. And Gibbons says, thank you, mother, for the rabbits. I'll take a position. Nope, never mind. Jack McNeil. Oh, sorry, Austin McNeil's going to have a look. Taking all the sausage. But they sort it out, and Gibbons does take that position. He's very shallow entry into that hairpin. Who's this behind? Wrong direction. That is Matty Powell in a very bulldozer-inspired BMW.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier. great livery.
Maybe he's going to have some
Structure.
bulldozer-inspired overtakes, which we don't recommend you do in racing.
Particularly not if, you know, maybe you're in charge of managing the rookies or something like that.
Yes.
No, you just have to show them what not to do.
Don't think it matters half the time, does it? No one actually listens.
If I don't read announcements.
Don't read what now?
Exactly.
Alright, let's flick over to the Porsche Cup. KLV tie, we've seen this all season. Gap nicely, Hamanto P3. Shady right behind him. Bushtold not too far back, but then there's a fair few gaps there. The remainder of the field. Valentini leads the way in the BMWs. He's up 3 positions. Not sure how accurate that position update is though, because I don't think JP's up 11.
JP started 4th.
Nice. Here comes Mr. Graham. He's starting to work out that car. That's off for him having a crack at it. So yeah, JP less than a second behind. We've got Herod back here. And side by side, Mcneil and Gibbons again. Mcneil pulls it up nicely and gets a move done. Bulldozer power. Let's go on board with him for a little bit. I don't want to say too much about Matty because I cursed the living bejesus out of him at Mount Panorama last week. Talked him up, gave him some praise, was pretty excited for him. Goes and bends it about 20 laps later.
All we can say about him is he is in a bulldozer-inspired livery.
That is all we can say.
Well, we won't talk him up then. Perhaps you can answer this question, Mel. Alex Valentini, he's got the number 1. Is that because he won the Bmw series, or is he just gone, yeah, I'm having number 1 because it's available?
Number 1 because it's available. No entry
Nice,
list.
don't mind that.
First in best dress for numbers for this series.
Don't mind that.
So you can rock up next week, Bender. Join the server first, take number 1. Say that you won the series last time around.
Mate, no one's going to believe any sentence has got
Mate, just show them the number.
And won the
Just
series
show
in
them the
same
number.
sentence.
Number speaks all the languages.
Possession is 9/10 of the law or something.
Something like that.
Funny you should mention that. That's actually the reason why when the inaugural Bathurst endurance race started, team first name and team last name, like, yeah, why not? We'll just go for number 1 and number 2. We'll take them. Yep, no worries. Use them ever since.
Then all of you get injured or sick or out and don't race. You wasted your number.
Oh, no, it's well, I don't know, man. People on holidays,
Nah,
you know, Joe's up in
pathetic.
the UK, and people have
Unacceptable.
injuries, and setups dying. It's all happening.
I just think it's a bit of a commitment issue. Team No Name more like it. Am I right?
Nah, I can't bag them.
You can. I won't tell them. Tell you what, someone's off my Christmas card list, and that's Robert Wenzel. Just obliterated McLaren on Sunday. Got both of us. Don't know what we did, but
You looked at him.
I didn't really. He's behind. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Speaking of cookies, here's Mark Bushell, aka the hamster. This guy runs off
Still
snippers.
not sure what that's got to do with cookies, but we'll go with it.
That's what he eats all the time. Isn't that what you feed hamsters? Just cookies? Surely that's good for him. Well, he's had a bit of a squeeze there at number 42, which is Steve Klomp. Interestingly, Tom McDonald is the only one out there yet to set a fastest lap. How is that a thing?
I'm guessing that he's had an off track each lap.
For 15 minutes straight.
No time gained.
For 6
Oh,
laps.
no time gained.
Tom McDonald's strats are working marvellously. He's up to P5.
So he's actually not the only one in the BMWs. You've got Jesse McLean. Probably because he doesn't have any hard tyres available to him.
Oh, they're all hard tyres. I think he's confused because he's got them there. That is quite amusing. Let's go on board with Jesse. Jesse hard tyres McLean. McLean, you've done it again. See the camber on those tyres, it looks tough. I nearly bought some camber tops today. I needed something a bit more important before I get those.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good. Who's that behind? It could be. This could be the leaders right behind here, Jesse. It is. That's Stephen Ty. Ty's got Kale. Is that? That's just happened.
I think Stephen Ty's been ahead for a while.
I thought Kale was leading this race. My mistake. Go back on board with Bushel.
A lot of people in chat were appreciating your comments before, Malik. He takes all the sausage.
What's the bratwurst? Yeah? That was half German.
Ambition. Oh, that's risky, sending it up the inside of the Beamer, hoping they notice you coming.
You made it work.
I am sure JLS will be in the chat soon to tell us what it's for. 52, which is Ethan Cale, drive-through penalty.
Oh no.
I guess, track limits.
No, this is issued by the stewards.
Oh, well, there you go. That is a fair whack.
Well, obviously something's transpired. Good battle here though. Yeah, Carl was leading this race. Bushel pits. He still leads the way in the BMW class. JP's gained a little bit and he's only half a second back now.
What I'm reading in the incident channel now, they've done a little bit of an update. Apparently he has collided with one of the BMWs whilst overtaking them.
Oh no.
So the stewards have gone, no thank you.
That's no good.
Sounds like the Ferrari disaster class strategy there.
And there it is in chat from Jason. For drive through for an unsafe overtake and contact on lap 6. So that might have also been when the lead changed. So he might have not only lost the lead but also got himself a penalty for it.
It's going to cost him more than just potential battle for the lead. That would be, yeah, several positions lost there. Plus, it's been handed out before the pit stops as well, so I believe you'd have to serve the drive-through before you could then pit for tyres, wouldn't you?
Apparently you can turn the penalty off in the MFD.
You've still got to serve it pretty quick though.
Well, you've got 3 laps,
Yeah,
yeah.
you've only got the 3
But
laps.
does the lap that you pit to change your tyres count as that 3 laps though? you're better off
Yes.
to serve it straight
Oh,
away,
good.
because then you might screw yourself.
Exactly right.
Pretty heavily. Well, Carl's in the pits now. This is do the drive-through first. I would get it out of the way.
Certainly looks like that's what he's
Yeah,
doing.
looks like it. Based
It's
on
not the
timer.
longest pit lane in the world, this one, so it's not going to cost as much time as some other tracks. That's probably the only consolation in all of that.
Oh, looking at the hit timer on the timings there, it said 43 seconds, but I reckon it might have been closer to 39 time he had the limiter off on the pit exit.
Which is, of course, just the amount of time you're in there. That's not actually your time lost because you are still moving.
Yeah, it's from line to line as you cross. See, fastest stop so far for the Porsche Cup car. Yeah, 117. No, 118 by Shady Samuel. 6 seconds slower than a usual fastest pit stop of a minute 12. Mike Real must have had a little bit of damage, perhaps a minute 39. Looks like Sneakers has got up to the back of Ben Vintner, with Rushudi following him very closely as well. These guys are yet to pit. Most of the Porsche Cup cars have. BMW is staying a bit longer. They don't really have much tyre wear. And this is what happened to my mate Ethan Cale.
That's unfortunate. That's paddling.
Yep, the stewards do make it very clear each and every week that the passing car is completely responsible for making sure they do it safely. And obviously with the closing speeds and all of that with these Porsche Cups, they do have to have their wits about them.
Yeah, that wouldn't really fit the definition of safe.
We are at the halfway mark. Keep pushing.
Yeah, I think maybe just missed the mark a little bit there. But that is a part of racing. These things do happen, and certainly it's not the end of the race for him. It just might mean he's probably not in with much of a chance of the win, unless there are other drive-throughs for track limits that come through for the other drivers.
We've got about 20 minutes, just over 20 minutes left. You've seen too many of the BMWs pit yet. So you were saying before, Mark, we're not the biggest issue for them. That's a bit wide there. Is that Midnet? And John Sanikas fighting.
Oh, he's done it around the outside. Nice overtake.
Very nice.
It's just about timing when you pit with the BMWs. You don't want to get caught out a second time. The lead Porsche Cup cars coming through the field again. So if you can make your stop and avoid that, that's definitely ideal.
Race leader pits. GP stays out. This will be an interesting stop there. Separated by less than half a second. Quite possible to overcut here for the BMWs. Tyre wear's not really a factor. Tyre temps, meh. So if anything, JP may be able to gap if he has a couple good laps here. Should he had a 1:15 stop? That's the fastest out of anyone so far. And Cal's in now for his mandatory.
So we'll see where he places after the drive-through penalty with those that have pitted already.
What do you do if you JP? You stay out, try and use the overcut, or do you pit straight now?
I think JP's a little bit quicker. Certainly he has been gaining on Valentini all race, so I'd probably stick it out for a couple more laps.
Maybe get to the 15-minute mark, come in, see where you sit after that. He'll know with his tyres in his car if he needs to come in sooner anyway. Porsche Cup, we've just got Stephen Ty and Damiano Thurcolini yet to pit. But a handful of BMW drivers staying out there. Unsurprisingly, Jesse McLean's one of them. But still, see, I reckon that's wrong. I don't think McLean and McDonald, 12 laps into this race, have yet to set a personal lap. I think that's a mistake by the timing sheets.
Yeah, first few laps you can understand, but we're
Yeah.
almost half an hour in.
Well, let's just scrutinise a lap here for Mr. T-Mac.
Is there any way we can tell if it's a valid lap?
What was that?
Is there any way we can tell it's a valid lap?
On the other
from what
graphic we can.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm just going to check the other monitor. We've got a handful of cars in the pit now. 3 just went in. One of those being the 555. That's John Sneakers. So JP stayed out. No, so yeah, I was looking at Tom McDonald's overlay on the normal overlays. He doesn't have a best lap on there. No way has he done 12 laps and not one of them been valid. Well, that was a bit wide. That's wider. Tom, if you're at track extending and getting away with it, you're going to pay the ultimate price soon.
That's a bit naughty, that, isn't it?
It is a little
Very,
bit.
very wide.
But last lap was a 2:11 flat.
You can actually see Jesse has now set a lap time, so maybe it is accurate.
This must be the new record. Oh no, Tommy!
Oh.
We've cursed him on stream. I don't know how we've cursed him. We haven't really talked him up. We just sort of said that he hadn't done this and that. And into the fence he goes. That won't be valid either. The Taswegian into the fence.
Car 20, which is one of the BMWs, has received a drive-through penalty for sending it on one of the Porsche cars.
There you go. Cookie crumbles both ways. This time the BMW being smacked.
So the steward's not playing favourites.
Think of the children. Just think of the children. I'll tell you a story about how I got here. I don't know what the story is, mate, because it could have come from anywhere.
R.I.P. Cone.
The story of how I met your mother.
What is the story of that?
Oh, it varies. She came round and started cooking me muffins one time.
Cooking you what? Mushrooms?
Muffins.
Who said mushrooms? Like, that's pretty specific. She's cooking you muffins. Oh, did you like the I'm not even... Wow, I'm not even going there. Don't ask her. I'm not asking her, did you like the taste of her muffins? Because that's not the right thing to say. JP is in the pits. Let's go on board with P2 provisionally, which is Valentini. We look up the road to see JP's BMW if it comes out. Still serving it. There he is. No, the undercut will not work. Will not part. Where the thank you, overlay. Oh, it has. Never mind.
It has worked.
Never you mind.
That was nicely done there by JP.
Obviously the tyres are going to be a little bit cooler than Alex Valentini's as Mike Real
Oh, that is
wedges his way in
Not
between this
ideal.
battle.
See, Valentini's got the fastest lap in the Beamers as well.
And I believe he set that after his pit stop, which might have been the trigger for JP to come in.
24.8. Kale, after his drive-through and pit stops, has come out P6. Not too far back from Bushel.
Certainly nowhere near as bad as it could have been.
I'm more interested in old mate Tom McDonald. Will he set a valid lap? As that is a send. That is not going to get pulled up in time.
Yeah, JP was aware of that, and Alex Valentini actually just rolled off that throttle because he did carry enough pace through there to get that move done on the outside, but knowing that wouldn't have been a valid overtake. It's a good heads-up driving by both. Valentini just missing his brake marker there by a fair margin.
The package had turned to sender written on it.
But he's right on the back of JP here. He's got to nail the next corner exit. Up the hill is a great little overtaking opportunity under braking. But JP's nailed those last two corners, and I don't think he's going to get close enough. Not at all. I think it's a little bit too close coming through the sweeper.
Those tyres will now be getting up towards a good temp for JP.
Just an update on Tom McDonald. He set a valid lap. You see all the brakes, brake pressure applied here. Just feathering those brakes, trying to tuck that nose around. Lots of lifting as well. We might have to throw a party for Tom McDonald here if he actually sets a valid lap.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind seeing his laps and looking particularly at the second to last corner for the pit entry.
This is so much more quieter than the Porsche Cup car. It's about 15 seconds difference between the two classes. It's a fairly lengthy time in the lap. That's why the bigger difference is here. Probably be similar at Spa, I'd imagine. Probably even more so at Spa. What's a M2
Probably
at Spa?
bigger.
240-ish? 235, 240? It's a long lap, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say probably 240 plus. As the Cup car would be, what, about the 220 mark, thereabouts? Maybe a touch quicker.
Yeah, I mean, it's about 5 seconds a lap, roughly slower here than GT3s. So if you say 215,
It's a better exit there.
GT3s, 20s for Cup cars.
Tom Maloney in chat saying the BMWs wouldn't make it up Eau Rouge.
Good defensive driving there by JP. You don't want to go deep under brakes in that like, first corner and risk the switchback. Just want to nail that. Get onto them earlier if possible, because they're not going to get the move done on the outside. Here comes another Porsche. Come and say g'day. Welcome to the party. Let's go on board with the Porsche. Rip cone.
Having to be patient through the S's with them.
So he's not even looking there to get the move done, which is smart driving, because these two are racing for the class win. You don't want to be that guy and get involved in that. And this is where you use all of the Porsche. You just fly past. Catch you later.
Yeah, start driving now for a second.
Nice smart driving.
Oh my word. Oh my goodness. Valentini knew he'd gone a bit deep again under brakes. Maybe I think he rolled off the brakes earlier and just carried way more speed through there. Didn't panic though, didn't slam the wheel to the right. I reckon they would have brushed. Do they have them on the side mirrors and these things? Yep, they do. They wouldn't anymore if that was real life though.
I was going to say, it'd be interesting if you could damage those in the game.
Be cool as. I love if the damage model was much more visible and more chances to actually destroy your car.
I mean, things like losing the side mirrors would be quite interesting, particularly for those that drive in VR or in triple screens where they actually use those side mirrors.
Yep.
I think if you're going to go that route, then surely you've got to bump up the car's speed by, you know, a couple of kilometres if you lose side mirrors. You know, it's a bit more aerodynamic, less weight, you know, give it a couple extra Ks, top speed.
I'd be interested to know how much difference it makes. Oh, they'd be pretty aerodynamic as they are.
To be honest, with the BMWs, it would make no difference because they don't even get much of a difference in a slipstream.
Yeah. Alright, can a car 844 negotiate these two, as well as Lee Perkins? Damiano Thurcolini, over to you, sir. Is he going to be patient?
No.
Oh, fuck no, he says. I'm racing for 11th by myself. I've got places to be, gents.
Oh, little bump.
Oh,
I reckon that was a deliberate kiss on the bum. Wow, kiss on the bum.
Jeez, Mullet, where is your mind tonight?
just remember, we're not on OnlyFans at the moment.
No. I've just noticed something. I'm not sure if it's true. Shady Samuel leads this race. What's happening to Stephen Tyre? Maybe suss that out.
That's interesting.
It is.
Well, has Shady Samuel pit?
Yes. It's on the graphic.
Well, very interesting then.
Both did the exact same time, 118. Shady Samuel was a later stop. Was it an overcut? I don't know. I'll search through my record books. As he drifts his way around that corner. quickest way around a corner is sideways, and Shady just shows that perfectly. I wouldn't do that too often in a Porsche though. Big balls.
Yeah, tyres would not like that one bit.
Investigate what happened.
The Bmw damage model would be hilarious
window
in
is now
ACC,
closed.
that is for sure.
Oh, it really would.
Imagine. And then you could tow a trailer. Is BeamNG multiplayer? Because...
Oh,
here's a
that was-
send!
Oh, that's a bit of a nudge.
Contact. Yeah, that didn't pull out fast enough there, Stefano.
Story of, anyway, Stefano was really get some move done on Jay Sneakers. No P involved here. They're going to go sideways or side by side through the S's. And nope, they're not S's here, they're straight lines. And that's... Oh my god!
Oh, oh, oh.
John has tried to assassinate Stefano. I'm not sure the Italian's going to be able... He did it anyway!
And now he's done it.
Oh, wow. He's there. Not good.
Oh, I think that got about as good as it deserved. There was a fair
comes
bit of argy-bargy, and yeah, I think that's about all we should say.
I reckon both of them would love to have this lap rerun. Started on the start-finish straight. Bit of wheel-to-wheel, and then it continued through the S's. And I was just going to say, I've never seen it work well through the S's side by side.
Reese Penfold in chat, target neutralised.
It's like that "we got him" gif.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
The most iconic moment from the American sniper movie. Tango down!
Yep. You don't like to see it in racing though, so yeah, I'm sure both of those guys would like to have that lap back.
Yeah, update from chat, Tom McDonald still hasn't set a valid lap.
Fuck.
I'd love to see what he's doing. I think if he doesn't set one, I don't know if it's a rule. Just DQ him. Like, if he doesn't set one, because he's obviously track extending and abusing limits somewhere. To
But he
not
should
set
be
valid
getting a
lap.
penalty. Like, he should be getting DT anyway. So...
From what I've seen, it's actually really easy just to keep getting the no time gained warning as opposed to the proper track limits warning here.
I'm not sure what's happened here with, I can't work out the Stephen Ty Shady Samuel thing.
Was it magic?
Well, lap 11, Shady Samuel's 12 seconds back from Bercolini. That can't be right either. Bercolini hadn't pitted. Okay, so... keep searching. Yeah, okay. So Shady Samuel has undercut Ty quite easily.
Undercut or overcut? Because it
Overcut,
looks like
sorry.
yeah,
Overcut.
Samuel's on a 13 lap stint at the moment.
Yeah, so he's overcut Stephen Ty quite considerably.
Perhaps Ty got caught up in some BMW traffic, and that has just helped Shady take the lead.
So we've had a few battles here that have been ongoing for the entire race. This is one of them, Mcneil versus Gibbons. Gibbons is now ahead of Austin. As we head into the last 2 minutes of this race. JB Sneakers and Valentini fighting for the BMW class. That is a nice drift in the BMW. That's how you... Oh, Embra's behind.
You are lagging a lot, Mullet.
Lagging.
Yes, you are. You've gone
Yeah.
all robot on us.
Oh, no. If I've gone robot, though, I reckon internet says, wow, the Porsche just did, that's what the internet's doing, but it shouldn't. Let us know, stream.
As we see car 555, so that's John Senekis getting a 15-second penalty for that collision that we saw earlier on.
Well, stream saying I'm alright, so it must be Discord things. So
Sounds
Gibbons
better
and Mcneil kicking off, or kicking on. but we're going to have to go to the BMW class lead.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
Shady Samuel 6 seconds up the road from P2 and Porsche. Right, who's your money on, chat? Can JP hang on? Or will Mr. Capital Letters Valentini take the win? And where's he going to get the move done? Never mind, that's how you get the move done. So, congratulations, JP, on the win. That's, well, that fizzled out quicker than my, I don't know what, something that was shortly.
The Porsche Cup leader, car 5, has received a 5-second penalty for an unsafe overtake.
Well, he's got a lead of 6.6, so that makes it interesting.
John's in the pits.
Find it interesting, just on that John and was it Rashuti incident, that Rashuti wasn't given an incident for the contact up the hill into turn 1. He hit him because he didn't pull out to the side fast enough to make the overtake.
Yeah, we're not shooting though, so
Yeah, I know, we're not shooting, but yeah.
not
Seems
much we can do about it.
strange to me.
They may not have even been called out to them. So that's a good thing to remember. If you're involved in an incident and you're not calling out your car number, there's no guarantees that the stewards know that something's happened.
Car
we
one's
see
just picked up a
confirmation.
penalty, yeah. So here we come, Shady Samuel, last couple of corners of the race tonight for the Porsche Cup. He's got a 5-second penalty hanging over his head, but he's going to get the win here. And his first win for the season. Great race here from Shady. P1, COTA.
The leader has finished the race.
P2, 7 tyres, going to cross the line. 6 seconds back, 5 seconds back. Oh, we narrowed that gap. So he only won by 5/10. The last little section, Stefan Bastal, super consistent in his beloved Porsche. He's going to cross the line, P3.
Little tail wag for good measure for both of them.
Manto P4 and Kale had an unfortunate drive-through for an incident with a BMW car. He's going to cross the line on top 5 in P5. We flick down to the BMWs. JP is going to take the win. Valentina's got a penalty. He'll finish second. Rashuti should grab P2 here based on that pen.
Valentine might finish 4th.
He may do. We wait with bated breath. Vincent has crossed the line. Herod's not too far back either. 12 seconds between Valentini and Rashuti, so that's not going to change anything. And as the rest of the cars cross the finish line, that is round 5 done for the Porsche / BMW Cup. Lots of us. That's AWS side, rip in peace. A quick shout out to this man. Yeah, I probably didn't really want to know, but he kind of kicked the ball off with VRS. He approached VRS about trying to get involved and tagged me in an email. Said, "Here you go, Mal, deal with this." I'm like, "Oh, okay, no worries." And yeah, so many thanks for your help, Stuart. And it's great to see you out there racing, mate. Clifton Marsh still out there. Cranich is pitted. Cricky is out there still as well. A couple of new faces out there tonight. All I could hear then was a car screeching. I don't know where that was from.
Thought JC was going to be out there.
Ahead. It's this Porsche I could hear carrying on. It is Stephen Ty. Come on, big drift, eh? Big snap back.
Ah,
Money wasted. So tomorrow night we'll be back for the same again. It'll be split Ascari and split Beckett's. You don't want to miss those two here. Ascari's had some of the best racing wheel-to-wheel all season, and Beckett's is always spicy. So yeah, 8 o'clock tomorrow night we'll be back.
It's going to rain.
It's going to
Speak it
rain.
into existence. It's going to
Yeah,
rain.
Mate, if you did that, it'd be wet every week, wouldn't it? Crickie's not going to cross the line. He's just going to pit.
You do you, Mike.
He did. He doesn't need your advice.
It's your favourite advice, mate.
Yeah, I hate that saying. As
That's
you
why
know,
I said it. That's why I said it.
you do, you. What about if me was stabbing people with pencils? Like,
Green light, go, go, go.
don't do me. All right, so here's the final results. Shady Samuel, Stephen Ty, Stefan Bachtold, 1, 2, 3 in the Porsche Cup. In the BMW M2, we have JP Sinikas going back-to-back tonight, Alex Valentini and Stefano Rasciuti. In the GT4s, we have Jacob Weatherburn. What has he done, Bender? What's he done, Bender? Bender's already fucked off.
No, he's done the single class
I
Grand
gave you
Slam.
all this opportunity and you've blown it. Get out. But yeah, there we go. Thanks everyone. Thanks again to Alex Imey, David McNulty and Jamie Conboy for their work tonight. Appreciate it, fellas.
No worries. Thanks for having us.
Always a blast.
Thanks, chat, for your contributions tonight. Much love, and we'll see you again tomorrow night. Bye-bye now.